Morning, everyone. Hope everyone's well. It's Sunday today, Sheriff, isn't it?
Thank God for that.
Thank God for
Well,
that,
not
he
thank
says.
God, but
Yeah, hope everyone's well this morning. Big up to all of you for being in. Um, a bit disjointed this morning. I could say I am a little bit after that debacle last night is the right word, I suppose you'd call it.
I'd call
But,
it depression, mate.
well, yeah, there is that. I think my door's just gone, Mark. Hold on a minute, mate. Can you
No,
carry on, Seth? My front door's just gone.
that's all right. I'm just carry on. When he goes to answer the door, it's a feeling of bleh. Same old Tottenham, same old Tottenham. Underprepared, lack of pre-season. You could see that lack of minutes, lack of anything really.
Sorry
And
about that.
all that's all right, mate. All I can say is, from what I saw of the game, you got to take your hat off to Brentford. Thoroughly deserved the win. We weren't even at the races. We weren't even on the same pitch. And it just goes to show what a well-oiled machine, as their team has become, can do. Can do. We weren't even on the same planet as them when it comes to playing football. Every area, they were better than us. Is that good enough? Nah, we know it's not good enough. It was an absolute. After we were. See, this happens every time with Tottenham. You get excited, the new season's here. Yes, come on, boys. Come on, boys. But then it's the same old bleh. And you get moments like this where you feel utterly pissed off and depressed. I don't know what else to say. It's just depression.
I'll jump in.
Yeah.
I've briefly watched De Zerbi's press conference
Oh,
from
I haven't
last
seen
night,
that yet.
this morning. Right, he keeps mentioning time. I need time. It's new players. They need to gel together. The tour was a fucking disaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, players coming from the World Cup flying here, there, and everywhere to get to fucking Australia or wherever they're meeting up with. Some didn't even play in pre-season games.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not making excuses for them. I'm having a go at the fucking board for letting this happen.
Yeah.
Right? Everyone takes a portion of the pie last night. Right? The Zerbi made mistakes. Enoch are still making mistakes, however hard they're working to do what they're doing. We've got no forwards. Right? We couldn't control the game. We had a kid as a captain. We had a geezer in the centre midfield that if you put him in a pen with headless chickens with that colour of his mop, you wouldn't notice the difference.
Yeah.
It's not on. It's not
No.
on. De Zerbi knew last season that Gray and Bergvall were not good enough. That's why he took them out of the team.
You look at the upturn in form when he did drop him. When he first rocked up, Bentancur was back in, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And I believe, was it Gallagher that come back in? And he dropped the pair of them, and upturn started. There was two of them, wasn't there, that was injured.
Paulinho, wasn't it? He
Oh,
brought
Polina.
Paulinho
That's
back
right.
in. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, both of them come back in, and they're not good enough. Bergvall was absolutely shocking, mate. And Gray wasn't much better at right back.
Gray got rinsed last night,
Oh,
Mark.
he was rinsed, mate. That Sade, smooth
Yeah.
operator. Let's get
Yeah,
that
your
in.
love is king and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First one, smooth operator and all that.
Yeah.
But he had him on toast, mate. He really did have him on. He's not a right back.
I thought actually Archie Gray was on a panini. He was that undercooked. Really? I thought he was on a panini, mate, that hadn't been toasted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look, we all knew, we all saw before the game. We all sat here and said Sade's going to roast Gray if Gray
Yeah.
plays right back. Right? That happened. That's neither here nor there now because it's happened. right? Will De Zerbi learn?
He better
Probably.
do.
Were the players that were on the bench and in the stand that undercooked that he couldn't even put them on the pitch? We had the best bench you've seen from Tottenham for years. Years and years and years, right? And we don't make a sub until whatever it was, half time and then the 63rd minute, whatever it was, right? If they're on the bench, they should be fit enough to play. If they're not fit enough to play, leave them off the bench and look upstairs. So what do you want me to do?
Yeah, what's
They were
going
all
on?
there.
Yeah,
They were all in the stand.
3 of them were.
I think, like we say, your eyes are a good test when you look at a
Yeah,
footballer. Well, look up towards them in the stand and see if they clock you, right? Because that's his only way that he's going to get going now without being left behind. He's got to keep putting the pressure on them like he has done, Mark, and we know he has in the window. The little comments, the not snidey remarks, but just having a little dig. Come on, people, hurry up. You know what I
Well,
mean?
even
Get it done.
snidey remarks ain't, you know, just a little jab in the ribs,
That's it,
a little
mate.
dig in the ribs.
It,
Yeah,
yeah, Mark, it is what it is.
yeah,
We'll sort of go over it a little bit. We did the watch along on it. I'm sure there's be bits and pieces that we miss out along the way.
yeah,
But we'll have 5 minutes, 10 minutes. We'll just talk
yeah,
about it for a bit, and then
yeah.
we'll see if any of you guys want to jump on and
So
have
you gonna
your
do the
say about
hellos?
last night. Yeah, do a few hellos, Mark.
It's already
Yeah.
prepared, mate. I've seen it.
Pete's in. Morning, Pete. Morning to you, mate. I think it was what was you said to me about the title last night, Mark? Is it frozen or is it? What
No,
was the
no.
word you
It's
used?
has the giant awoken, or is he still in a coma?
That's it. That's it.
But to get the hashtags in the end of it, I sort of shortened it down a little bit. I think was it giant awoken or still asleep?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
Something like
so
I
that's
did
more or
like the
less the
coma
same
bit
thing
though.
anyway.
We're definitely in a coma, mate. There's no doubt about that.
Mm.
Jesus, honestly, what a mess that was
I wish
last
I
night.
was for a couple hours instead of watching that.
Well, there you go. Wembers is
Yeah,
in. Morning to you, Wembers. I hope you're
I should
well.
have had more Amstels.
Well, um,
Just
Wembers says he said it here and elsewhere that he felt we were going to get beat yesterday, but even I didn't think we would be that poor.
yeah,
In the end, 3-0 flattered us. They missed a pen, a
yes,
couple of other chances. Don't get me wrong, Mikey Moore had 3 chances to score last night, 3 good opportunities. P-roller in the first 2. My comment was, is he trying to nutmeg the keeper every time he has a
honestly,
shot?
now I'm going to steal a bit from expressions because I watched his video. I didn't watch his watch along, but he put a post match video out. I thought that when Mikey Moore had them 2 shots, it looked like he'd kicked a balloon, mate, because it went nowhere. It wasn't struck with pace, power, sort of fly past the keeper at like 70 mile an hour. It was like he'd kicked a balloon, mate. The way it
Listen, I don't want to have a go at him,
No, I'm not having a
right?
go at
Because
him.
I feel like a bit like Archie Gray with the captaincy thing. He didn't have no other option as such than to play
Yeah,
Mikey Moore out there, right? But I think last night tells us again with the opportunities that he had as well. Forget what else he did in the game or didn't do, but he had 3 very good chances that
yeah.
you would expect 1 out of it at least. Do you know what I mean? The first 2, like Mark says, I don't know if he was kicking a brick, a balloon, whatever it was he was kicking, the ball weren't going nowhere when he kicked it,
All right.
you know?
I'll just
But,
bring it back now. 2 completely different players. I understand that. You imagine Harry Kane being in them positions or
oh,
Sonny.
yeah.
That would have been goals. All of them. I'm not saying Mikey Moore's Harry Kane. I'm not saying that, but he's
No,
just
I
not
get it.
ready.
I get it.
He's not developed enough. I'm sorry.
Uh,
He's a good player, and I got no doubts he might develop into a fantastic player. But
you
at
know,
this precise moment in time, he's not what we need. We need experience. We need quality. We need any other words. We need quality.
Anything you want to use, mate. Any word you want to
Experience,
use.
quality. We basically need men in the pitch, which is what we were going on about last year when Polinia rocked up.
And what we need, people, is a pre-season where we get our players in that we think we need, 4 or 5 weeks before we go so that they can play together in these pre-season friendlies. That's what it's meant to be about, building your team for next year. All we're doing is flying around the world, raking in money, signing players, and then we get to Brentford on a Saturday at 5:30, and half of them ain't even played in the same team with each other. And what do we expect?
And you could certainly see, mate, that the way we played reminded us of a team that's never played before. It's like you rock up on a Sunday morning for your Sunday morning league. Half of them are normally still hungover, and you just get people off the side. Oh, come and have a game, mate. He's throwing up in the bushes, so you can step in if you want. You know what I mean?
Walking around the pitch asking people if they've ever played football before.
Yeah. You know what Sunday morning's football's like, mate. You turn up and bloody,
like that, yeah.
Most people are still hungover. They've only just got in.
Yeah.
I remember Sunday morning football very well, mate. We used to go straight from the nightclub and go and have a game.
There you go. Some of us that were a bit more professional didn't do things like that, Sheriff. You know what I mean? Going to the club the night before and then turning out on a Sunday morning. Come on, Sheriff. What we doing here?
We're on about real amateur football, mate. This is like kicking it about in a bloody...
You call yourself what you want, mate.
Well, yeah, but... Well, you know I'm not very good at football, mate.
I know what you mean, Sheriff. I know exactly.
I saw your techers in Savage Garden, mate.
Listen, don't you worry about my techers. That ain't helping Spurs at the moment, Sheriff. And I don't suppose it ever will.
I was very impressed with your techers, mate, in Savage Garden.
Listen, it is what it is. They say once you've got it, you don't lose it, Sheriff. That's what they say anyway. I beg to differ because my balance is on the way out and it makes it much more difficult to do what you want to do with a football.
It reminded me of Glenn Hoddle, mate. Glenn Hoddle.
Don't give me all that, Sheriff. Don't give me all that. Right. Moving on, as Box Office says. He's trying to embarrass me out of the place. Yeah. I can see what he's doing. Big up, Jimmy. Big up, Jimmy. Hope you're well this morning. Like number 6 from a sunny northwestern. Following on from that, Jimmy comes in again. He says, worrying sights and sounds from RDZ yesterday. We'll talk about it, Jim. Have we seen this movie playing out before? Well, if you didn't know no better, Jim, and you watched the last season, sort of shut your eyes for 3.5 months or whatever it is, and then opened your eyes just as the team walked out on the pitch again, you'd go, apart from the front line, obviously, you'd go, oh, this looks a bit better. Wouldn't you? Naturally, you would.
Yeah.
Right, and then when you watch the 90 minutes, right, do you know what? I thought the passing again was awful. The amount of times that we not even won the second ball, but, nicked it off them, third ball, fourth ball, and then we just give it straight back to them again. Same as last season, man.
That's why I said it was like a team that had never played together.
Yeah, I get that part.
Honestly, they couldn't even pass to each other. And we've suffered with that for a long, long time now.
That was disgusting. And then I've got, right, I do follow certain other fan channels just to keep on YouTube, just to keep abreast of other clubs. There's certain ones that I like to watch. And even Tom Canton this morning, mate, on Arsenal. I've never seen him take the piss out of Tottenham when I've been watching, right? And this morning, he was on it like a car bonnet, mate, slaughtering us that we can't go away to Brentford and get a result. Do you know what I mean? Be competitive at least.
We will see when they go there.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. But I'll tell you what, I think they'll put a better performance up than we did last night, Mark. Sorry,
but bloody Ipswich and bloody Hull will. No one will go there and put the performance in that we did.
It's got to change quick, sharp, mate. It's got to change. I don't think De Zerbi will have that for long, to be honest with you.
I reckon my local team could go there and put a better performance in than that, mate. And they're in a bloody conference.
It is what it is, mate.
Whatever it's called these days.
Well, listen, and for anyone who thinks Charlton's going to be a rollover on Wednesday night after that
No,
performance, it
no,
may well be, but it may well not be as well. Just
yeah.
saying.
I'm just
Steve, the
saying
DJ's in. Go on,
they
Mark.
went to the Millennium Stadium, was it? Whatever it's
Oh,
called. And they rolled West Ham over yesterday. I'm sure it was at
was it?
West Ham's ground. I'm sure it
Oh,
was.
down at East London, down there at
Yeah,
their gap.
yeah. I'm sure they
Yeah,
went.
yeah.
I'm
The
sure it was
Stratford
West Ham.
Centre.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
whatever
yeah.
it's called. Millennium
Yeah, yeah.
Stadium. I thought it was a Millennium Summit.
No, Millennium's the one in Cardiff, isn't it? Or used to be.
Of course it is. The Olympic
Yeah, yeah.
Stadium.
Olympic
Olympic
Stadium,
Stadium.
that's it. Yeah, yeah. Um, dear, oh dear. I think it. I don't listen. It could be a difficult game Wednesday night. Let's put
Well,
it that way,
we better
right?
bloody rock up.
They're,
This is
they're,
going to be.
they're coming off doing West Ham away. Don't get me wrong.
Hmm.
West Ham ain't the best team in the world at the moment. They've had players leave and all that, right? But they're going to be on a high coming to us on Wednesday night.
Hmm.
We've started slowly, disastrously, whatever word that you want to use, right? And yes, we know it should get better. But again, I will say it because it keeps dragging on. Another day has gone past. Yeah, we need the forwards. It's as simple as that. I looked at Maddison last night when he came on. He looked so rusty, Mark.
You look done.
So rusty. He just looked like, I don't know, obviously he's been working hard to get back to where he needs to get back to.
Well,
But
was it a watch along what someone put a stat in the last 3 years? He's only done 90 minutes 7 times.
7 times, 90 minutes,
Yeah,
7 times.
in
That's
three
all he's done.
seasons. In three
Yeah,
seasons.
that's
See, that's
correct.
not good enough. To me, now I'm not being nasty because I actually quite like Maddison, but to me, this is last chance saloon. Either you stay fit and you prove yourself, or bye bye. Bye bye.
Fair play. Sheriff's on it
There's
like a
no
carp
room for
on it this
passengers
morning.
anymore. There's
There
no
you
room for
go.
passengers.
Yeah.
Sorry, if you're not going to be fit, off you go.
The outlook has changed on this channel. We don't want to hang on to people. And listen, Madders is a good footballer.
I'm not saying he's not.
He gets a chance this season, like Mark says, to do his
Mhm.
biz. He ain't going nowhere. He's been injured a lot. Yep, fair play. He's had some bad injuries. Fair play. He's coming back from some bad injuries. Fair play. Right? But he obviously didn't have the minutes in him. Didn't have the minutes.
Well, yeah.
All of them on the bench. Solanke, whoever you want to talk about. Fernandez, he went off in pre-season with a calf. Yeah, I would imagine last night he didn't want to bring him on
Mhm.
last night, but he had to.
Can I just say, Solanke was even worse than Richie, and I never
Oh,
thought I'd
mate.
say that.
The pair of them are god awful, mate. If I see Richarlison again trying to back into a defender when he's not actually feeling them, you know what I mean by
Yeah,
that, don't you, Mark? Yeah?
yeah.
And the defender just steps away and he falls over
Looking
because
for a
he's
free kick.
leaning so hard.
Looking for
You
a
know
free
what
kick.
I mean?
Yeah,
Looking for the contact.
yeah.
And,
What?
and
He's
the
looking for a
defenders
free
have
kick,
wised
isn't he?
up to him. The defenders have wised up to him,
Yeah,
Mark. They know. Just get on tight on him. Yeah, let them be felt. And then as soon as they're felt, they know the arse comes out. He starts backing in. They step away. He falls over.
yeah.
I mean, come on, mate.
And then
What
he
are we
sticks his
doing here?
hand up expecting a free kick.
We're not under 10s here, are we?
No.
Let's be honest. You know, and again, it's got to change. Something's
Yeah.
got to be done in this next week. Yeah. And we need then, I think, once we've got a forward line in, everyone might just settle down a little bit and not be so reactive. Because I'm reactive this morning because
I think
I'm
it's
not
going
happy
to calm us down.
with the way fucking Enoch are going about it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. De Zerbi made mistakes yesterday, 100%. Right? But it still boils down to the board not getting the players in. And listen, everyone can say, yeah, Cookie, they're coming. Don't worry, mate. What the fuck were they doing for the last 7 weeks?
Yeah.
The transfer window doesn't just begin when the day opens. They've had all at the end of last season, since January, to be finding targets. And then you can say to me, but Cookie, we didn't know if we was going down. We didn't know if we were staying up. Then plan it for both scenarios.
Yeah.
We're supposed to have people in the club right, that even if you don't know about football, right, know about the rules implied with it, that what you can do,
And
what you can't do.
I'll tell you one thing they definitely know is numbers.
Well, look,
They definitely know numbers, and so they could have worked the figures out, the money side of it. You know, what I mean, they've got what? What's the date today? 23rd, 24th,
23rd,
something like
23rd,
that. And they got what? 8 or 9 days now,
8
isn't
or
it?
9 days left, yeah.
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 But to be
Shocking, Mark.
honest, we've lost the first game in already. We're sort of behind the black ball a little bit.
Let me just say, one game gone and already 3 points and a -6 goal average to the Gooners. Not that that matters at all as such in the grand scheme of things, but just to put it out there, one game gone, yeah, and it, oh, mate, and it is. It's all a lot of it's all about preparation, Mark, and you can't blame the manager for that as such because all
No.
the tours are done. They're all named the year before
But the club organised
the
that, mate.
tours,
The
you
club
know.
organised that, and it's all about
But knowing that there was a World
Wonga.
Cup on, Mark, as well, surely it would have been better to have something a bit closer to home round Europe. I don't know, whatever.
Well, yeah, yeah,
Right, but like you say, it's all about the dollar,
yeah.
and they will learn probably the hard way. They will learn the hard way that sometimes the dollar don't come over what you need to do on the football
Because
pitch.
if you notice, this pre-season, we did not go to South Korea. Now,
Yes.
there's no coincidence there that basically the king of South Korea is no longer with us, and so we didn't go there.
Oh, mate. Morning to Andrew. We'll get into it. Morning to
Yeah,
Logan.
yeah.
Morning
There you
to
go.
Lee. Hope you're all well this morning. Sorry, I'm not reading your comments out. We'll get through a few of these and we try and get some people on.
Hang on, I'm waiting. It was only 4 or 5 down, wasn't it? Where is it?
Oh, did I miss it again? Look, I'm so raging this morning.
Yeah.
I'm so raging this morning that I've even missed Kate's comments. Here we
No,
go.
not Kate. The red one.
Oh, the red one. Yeah, I'm getting back to that. I did see it
All right.
there, Sheriff. Morning to Kate. Hope you're well, Kate, this morning. Big up to you. And I don't know if there's as much effort in this squeeze this morning, Kate, because Spurs sapped it all out of me last
Yeah,
night. But there you go. You can have a little squeeze, Kate. There you
yeah.
go. Morning to you, Kate. Hope you're well this morning. I don't know why I started down where I was. I think I didn't bring the thing up far enough. Logan, big up to you. He's in with the old super duper this morning. Big up to you, Logan. Appreciate you very much. Double signal coming.
There you go.
There you go, Logan. Big up to you, mate. Aussie Ange is in this morning. Big up to you, Aussie Ange. Hope you're well. Just saying about Charlton there, and I agree with you, mate. And that was me at 4:40 this morning, I believe, or something
There
like
is an
that. Could have
update
been
to that.
earlier.
It is 8.
There you go.
8. It is the
8
last time I looked.
subscribers from 1,500 people. 8.
I will have another look.
If you haven't subscribed, everyone, please do. Let's get to that 1,500 mark.
No, still 8. It's still 8, mate.
It's still 8, he says. He's on it like a car bonnet, people.
I am.
8 subscribers. See what you can do, people. See if you can get us over the line.
Close
If
eye
you
on the
haven't
phone.
subscribed to the channel, please do. And hit the like stream just because for the laughability factor of me and Sheriff being on here this morning after a crazy 3-0 that could have been 6-2, if you like, defeat.
Well, yeah.
Well, Mikey Moore should have scored a couple, but I'm sorry, but
Yeah. Yeah.
we had 4 chances on goal. We probably should have scored twice.
To be honest,
Right?
I think if we'd have got a couple, mate, that would have flattened us. Because I'm not being funny. Brentford boxed us in every whatever you want to talk about
Yeah,
the
they
game.
did.
Brentford were better.
Yeah.
I've got to hold my hands up and say they were better.
Prepared, Mark. They were prepared.
Yeah. That just makes it even more so annoying.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean, mate. I know what you mean. Let's get back down here to where I was. I do apologise for that. I've probably scrolled up and it ain't caught up. Lee says, He's made 3 comments here. Bergvall tells Solanke you have to be sold or left out of the squad.
Yeah.
Again, the players that finished 17th twice played, and we was pony. Get rid. A lot of them did play last night, Lee. And he also says, sack the person who organised our pre-season. Absolutely shambolic.
It's all about that. There's no consideration for the players. It's all about let's get some watching.
Yeah, and this is a great point from Ghost as well. Big up, Ghost. Morning to you, mate.
Yeah, big up.
He
mate.
says yesterday was a reminder of what another injury crisis will make us look like.
That's
Spot
a very
on,
good
mate.
point. That's a very good
Spot
point.
on.
That is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to say anything, but we was saying weeks ago, yeah, people were saying, oh, we just need 2 in up front. We didn't have a right winger. We had Tell as a left winger. We had no number 10s. 2 strikers up front that couldn't hit the moon from 3 foot. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot to do, a lot. And that's just, you're just talking about there, a first team. That's without, for the next 2 years, getting rid of people that might be, I don't know, liked now by the manager. Let's just use it like that. But in 2 years' time, he might not be here. Because to me, this is a step-by-step process. But we started in the lower ground. We're not even on 0. For fuck's sake.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel for you. I feel for us. You know, but to be honest, mate, we also said that it was never all going to get done in one window.
Agreed.
But you'd like to think I'm just frustrated that it's not more sorted, you know? And I didn't realise it was Sir Mabbott's birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday today to Sheriff's legend.
My
if
hero.
you like.
My
Gary
hero.
Mabbott, 65 today. Big up to you, Gary.
Big up.
Have a great day, mate. I wish
I
we'd have had...
Mate, he's what, 8 years older than me? And he looks a bloody lot younger, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, well, that might be down to Amstel consumption, Sheriff, over the years, and
I had a hard paper
20
round,
bags
mate.
a day and all that.
I've told you, mate, I had a hard paper round.
Say no more. Happy birthday, Gary. I hope you have a great day, mate.
Big up
to you.
My hero, legend.
Lee says City are going to bleed us dry for Marmouche if he still wants to come. Lee, 9 days to go, right? Spurs know what Man City want. This has been going on long enough, right? If it comes to the point, Lee, that they're in for Marmouche, yeah, and they're changing the goalpost or moving the goalposts again, right? Fuck them off. We ain't got time to mess about, right? We've done all that for the last 7 weeks. Right, get these players in. If you've got to pay over the top for them, pay over the top for them.
To be honest, mate, it's not 7 weeks with Savio, is it? It's more like 54 weeks.
Well, yeah, I'm talking about since we last made we signed Sonali, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
We've had all
but
that
the Savio
time.
One, we've been chasing him for over a year.
Well, about 386 days as we stand.
Well, that's what, 7, 8 weeks, whatever. Yeah. That's like 50 odd weeks, isn't it?
We keep saying we need a team that hasn't got square pegs in round holes.
Yeah.
Right? What did you see last night? It's fucking madness.
There was lots of square pegs everywhere, mate, from what I saw.
Right. Big up to Lee. Hope you're well, Lee.
Yeah, big up, Lee.
Big up to Ghosted. I know I've probably said hello to you, Ghost, but there you go. Scotty Amos is in the house. Big up, Scotty. Big up. Tough day, mate. Ain't the word. Tough evening. Fuck me. You should have been here commentating on it. Oh, my God, mate.
I thought you were going to have a stroke at one stage.
Mate, it makes me sound like I've got a couple of knives to me throat. Do you know what I mean? What's happening next? I mean, fucking what a joke, mate. 90 minutes of trying to commentate on that.
I was prepared to phone 999.
Fucking hell. Honestly.
Yeah, it's just frustrating.
So much for a new season with ENIC 2.0 change. They better get these players in soon, or even the happy clappers will start to turn again. Oh, no doubt the happy clappers said we played well last night, Ghosted. We was in the game all the way till the final whistle. The only way we was in the game was because we had 11 on the pitch still, not because we was any good.
No.
Fuck.
No.
We
That's
were
the reality
fucking
of it.
pants.
To
Honestly.
be honest, it was men against boys. It really was.
Hit it, Sheriff. Go on, hit it.
They schooled us in every department. Any area of the pitch you want to talk about, they were better than us. Which to me, as a lifelong Spurs fan, is unacceptable. Unacceptable with what ENIC are meant to be doing. 2.0 change, my ass, is all I got to say at the moment. But like it was men against boys. And we weren't even in the game. From minute one, they were quicker to the ball than us. They were on the second balls. I remember you saying in the commentary, mate, because you was doing most of the commentating, I don't think we won a header.
No.
I don't think we won a
First
header.
half, I don't think we did win an header. Even the balls that were lumped up to Thiago, he won every single header.
Yeah.
And I don't care if he's 6. I've heard all this. But he's 6'4", and mate, who's marking him's 5'10". Well, I've played against fucking centre forwards that were fucking 6'5", right? And I'm 5'10", right? And I'm telling you, that geezer never won one header in the game. Not one.
There's ways and means about everything, mate.
Of course there is, Sheriff.
If you're
and we're
6-7 inches smaller than someone, there's bits and pieces you can do. Whether it's legal or not is debatable, but you know, there's bits you can do that probably are legal just to give yourself that little advantage. Leaning on him, jumping over him.
Yeah.
You know, it's not rocket science.
I
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry,
but Brentford schooled us. Brentford schooled us in every department.
Yeah.
We were taken to school, mate. And this is what you get from a settled and organised team. Because let's face it, Brentford have come on leaps and bounds since they got Frank out and then nobody come to us.
Mate, we were schooled that badly. We weren't even in secondary school, mate. They were still in fucking year for whatever it is, 6 to 10 in the primary school. Yeah. That's how bad it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Listen, I'm going to smash through it. Go on, Mark. Finish what you're saying, and I'll smash through a few
more. Well, that's it. Basically, we were just schooled. They were better than us in every. There's not one department you could say, "Oh, well, Spurs did better than them." Not one. Defending, no. Midfield, no. Attacking, no. Goalkeeper, no. Passages of play, no. Passing, no. Team togetherness, no. Because we just looked like a bunch of strangers. It was like a bunch of strangers that had just been plucked out the crowd and said, right, can you play football? Get on with it.
Yeah, yeah. But Mark, I get it, mate. I get it. Yeah, you're spot on, mate, by the way. Big up to Danny. Hope you're well, Danny. It is going to be a long old season if it carries on like that, mate, by the way.
Yeah.
Big up, Aussie Ange. Hope you're well this morning, mate. Hope you're well. Sorry if I'm jumped in again with people. Morning, Ronnie. Van Eck, all over the gaff, Ron. All over the gaff. Look, I can sort of put it down to they haven't played together much. I get that, right? What's the word, Mark? When two people are solid, you know what I mean? I can't think of the word. Communication between the two of them. Yeah, was probably not at its best.
Yeah, they got iron out their problems.
They got a few issues going on there. Senesi and Van Eck, to be fair.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what I'm more worried about. That when Van der Ven comes back, Senesi, who I thought was the better of the two, is probably going to miss out.
Maybe.
You know, because he's on Van der Ven's side, isn't he?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I mean, Van Heck looks shocking, mate.
He didn't look good last night to me. We know he's better than that, though. To be fair, come on, we know he's better than that.
Well,
we've seen him a million times better than that, Mark. Van Eck for Brighton. You know what I mean? And again, it's all about getting the communication and
Yeah,
the between the players. You know, and it's going to take time. We all sat
I
here yesterday
understand
and
that.
said, we all sat here yesterday, Mark, and we said it could be one of them where they all get on the pitch and they just take off. Right? It happens, but very rarely. Right? 9.5 times out of 10, you're going to put that team out there and they're going to struggle.
Hmm.
Right? Because it's all about learning what each other do, the little runs that they make, what way a player that's coming towards the ball will move left or right to receive the ball, all stuff like that. Right? And they're just going to have to learn, mate.
No, I'm not being funny, mate, but don't you think the vast majority of that should have been sorted out in pre-season?
But they haven't had a pre-season together,
Well,
Mark.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. If
Yeah,
you'd have had a proper
agreed.
pre-season, then all of that would have been ironed out.
Yeah, poor planning. So I'm sorry, I'll say it. Poor planning from Enoch.
And what the hell do
Poor
they do at
planning
home?
from the club.
Well, put it this way: if you're going to wait till the first game of the season to start ironing problems out about which way you're going to move and which peg you'd like the
Yeah,
ball
yeah,
passed to
yeah.
you on and all that, what the hell are they doing at Hotspur Way?
Uh,
All the pre-season.
no idea.
Well, from what I've seen of it, playing basketball and whatever else is in there.
Yeah, that's all for team camaraderie and all
Yes,
that shit, though, Mark. And at the
yes,
end of the day, I say all that shit. You know what I mean, though.
yeah,
Big
yeah.
up,
I
Ronnie.
do.
Hope you're well, mate. Big up to Rodney, who's in as usual this morning. Big up
Big
to
up.
you, Rodney. Future's brighting. He says, "Morning, everyone. Hope your heart is okay, Cookie." Listen,
Yeah.
Futures. I sit here, and when I commentate, like when Mark's sitting there, when Nigel's sitting there, we're playing every single ball that comes from a Tottenham foot, right? I get very frustrated. I'm trying to um, show a different side, even though I am commentating and I am a Spurs fan and I'm talking about our team. In the moment, it could be anyone, if that makes sense. So I'm trying to be non biased when I'm doing a commentary. When I get wound up, I'm getting wound up for a reason,
You do get a little bit irate. I will
right?
give you
But
that.
when I see stupid shit going on the pitch that I wouldn't see on an under 10 game, right? I will get fucking irate,
You do get a little bit irate, mate.
right? I'm not having it, Mark. I'm
No,
not
no,
having
I
it,
don't
and I
blame
will
you.
fucking shout it down until it stops, right? Because it winds me up to the hilt that every
But one
time
is
we go out on this bloody football pitch, it looks like no one has ever met anyone else in the
no,
squad.
no. It's the
2 years of this shit we had, Mark, where they couldn't pass.
it's the height of frustration, mate. It is being a Tottenham fan is just it's just the height of frustration. You just gotta see. I just tried to ignore it. It don't really affect my life.
I can't ignore it, mate.
Well, yeah, I tried to.
I
I
can't
tried
ignore
to.
it.
Yes, when I do go to the pub, I'm gonna get the piss taken out of me. I'm gonna go, "You're crap,"
That's
or
banter,
there,
isn't
but
it? It's just
it's
banter.
just bants and all that. But so I do my best not to try and let it affect my life.
Well, it
I
affects
try
my
my
life, so
best.
Tottenham, fucking sort it out.
Yeah, yeah. That's what we
Um,
all want, mate. That's what we all want. And
Morning
to be honest,
futures. Hope you're
I
well, by the way.
demand it. I demand it.
Fucking demand. I demand it.
Yeah,
Morning, Claire. Hope you're well this morning, Claire.
big
Sorry
up,
if I
Claire.
seem like I'm getting a bit fucking fed up already, right? But I'll call it out, Claire. You
Yeah.
know, all of you know, I'll sit here and I might not be the best with words, right?
Oh,
But
you're
I
not
will
bad.
call it
You're
out.
all right. You're very good, mate, with words.
I'll call it out, Claire. A lot of people use more sophisticated words and whatever than what I do, and try and I'm not that. I'm not that fella, unfortunately.
Look,
Sometimes you'll see me sitting here. I'm in the middle of a sentence, and there's a word there that I want to spit out that will encapsulate the argument, if you like, and I can't get it out, Claire.
Well,
Do you
let
know
me
what I
just
mean?
jump in. Let me just jump in. There are a lot of people that, shall I say, I'm not even sure I'm going to use the right word, that are a lot more eloquent than us. Is eloquent a word?
Yeah,
They're a lot more eloquent than us with their words and whatever. But at the end of the day, me and the boss are
and
just
Nige.
two.
Yeah,
We're just two working class blokes that see it as it is, and we'll say it as it is,
and that's it. At the end of the
and
day,
that's it. And
I ain't gonna
and,
lie for no one.
and
I
yes,
ain't
and
gonna sit
yes,
here lying for no one.
that may involve the odd f bomb and certain other words, but that's just the way working class blokes are. When we started this channel, I said to Mark, "Look, it's me and you. Just treat it like we're in a pub. You know, we're having a chat in a pub. But all right, we got a few people watching us, a few more now than never used to watch us, and we appreciate all of you. So big yourselves up. But all we are is two normal blokes. No, we're not the most eloquent. No, definitely not. I think if I
Thanks.
could have my time
Thank you.
again,
Yeah,
I'd
I would.
probably took more notice in English class, mate.
Thank you.
But I used to find it boring. I'd have took more notice in English, mate, so I could speak a bit better. You know, a few bit more fluent in words, and
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
never getting rid of my accent,
yeah,
but like, you
yeah.
know what I mean, just the words, and so I'd be a bit more eloquent when I came across.
Do you know what? We was in the front room obviously before the game last night, and I was talking to Lisa. I said, "Oh, I've got to go in soon, doing a watch along, little calling show after, see who wants to jump on and all that." And she said, "Mark, do me a favour." I said, "What's that, Lisa?" She said, "Try and speak nicely about some of the players, as in like the positive bits of what they've done." Well, I just looked at her just now and said, well, I couldn't find no positives, Lisa. I couldn't talk about our players in a positive light. Listen, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going
Yeah,
to sit here and say Joe Bloggs was great or Andy Robertson was the best of a bad bunch. They were all fucking diabolical, right? We got to get some standards back into what we're
yeah.
watching here, right? It's diabolical. They can't even pass to each other. Come on, everyone. It's dire. And I'm
That's
talking,
the
it's
biggest thing
Eric.
I've noticed. I don't watch many Spurs YouTube channels, but some of the ones I do watch, the standards of fans, especially me and Mark being elder gentlemen, the standards of some of the younger fans are in the bin. There
Fucking
is no standards.
bin's got a hole in it, mate, through the
Yeah,
floor down to wherever.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
true, though. It's true. It's true. And like I say,
We
Mark's not
should
going to
all
come on here and lie. I'm
no,
not going to come on here and lie. And if people don't like it, I can't do nothing about that, right? We're only trying to be honest. It don't mean we're right every time,
no, of course not.
but we're just trying to be honest. And that's how it'll always come across on this channel.
Because
That's why this channel's open for Tottenham fans to come on and spit their juice out, right?
sometimes,
Because,
because sometimes we have people on and they've got a slightly different opinion to
of
me, and
course, yeah,
when they're speaking, I think he's got a point there. Because of X, Y, and Z, A, B, and C ain't really going properly, and I think,
yeah, yeah,
well,
mate. I get that. I get
I
that.
almost
I get,
educate myself when other
yeah,
people are on here. You
yeah.
know what I mean? Because in life, I've always said, try and learn something every day.
Of course, they say that it don't matter how old you are, you learn something every day
Yeah,
throughout your life.
yeah,
However small it is.
yeah. Doesn't
So,
matter. It could be the most minuscule piece of it. Just try and learn something.
yeah, yeah, I get you, man. I get you. Let's carry on. Let's talk Tottenham's in. Big up to you. F Sank's in. Hope you're well, F
We got,
Sank. Big up to you,
we
mate, this
got.
morning. Stevie DJ's in. Big up to Steve. Morning to you, Steve. Still 1 to 2 favourite to come on first this morning.
Yes,
Marianne's
when
in. Big up, Marianne. Hope you're well this morning.
we
YouTube
we
member,
we
original.
do. Yes, and we do apologise most humbly for the shenanigans that happened yesterday.
Yes, Marianne, it's all
but it
sorted
has been
now. It
sorted.
won't happen again.
It won't
Sorted.
happen again.
Pete's in. Morning to Pete. Hope you're well. Big up to Claire. Hope you're well, Claire. The T-Rod's in all the way from Sweden. I'd like
Mr.
to know what
Sweden.
Tony thought about that last night as well, by the way, because he
Yeah.
don't mince his words either.
No.
So big up, Tone. Hope you're well, mate. YouTube member. Mr. T's in. Founder member, secretary, co-founder,
President.
president, what's the other one, Mark? Oh, yeah. Paper
Treasurer.
writer, sends all the letters out to everyone.
Treasurer, secretary.
Everything. You name it, Mr. T is it, because he is the main man of the Mark Army. Big up to Mr. T.
And
YouTube
we've
member as
lumped
well.
all these responsibilities on him because we can't be bothered.
Yeah, and he probably don't know it yet, but every time he tunes into a show, there's something else added on to his list of obligations of being the main man of the Mr. T Army. So
the
there
Mark
you go.
Army. It's
the
Mark
Army from
The
Mr.
Mark
T.
Army.
Sorry.
Yes.
My words got, you know.
It's the Mark
Danny says, I don't want to see Gray at right back or Gallagher in the 10 again. If we've not got a fit 10, don't play a formation that requires one. Because that means, Danny, that we shouldn't have been playing with a centre forward for the last 2 years. It's true, though. What you're saying is true. Richarlison's shit. Solanke's shit, right? And I'm sorry for just being blatant. A lot of people don't like it, right? But a pair of them are rubbish, right? So should we have been
rubbish
playing
is
with
too
no
kind
centre
a word.
forward for the last 2 years?
I think rubbish is too kind a word.
Well, I did say shit.
Well, all right, yeah, that's better. But what gets me is 4 years ago we had Sonny and Kane, and now we got these muppets. You know,
we move on. We move on. And Tony's coming straight away. I've got to say, I knew this was coming, Tony, when I heard you for your first message. I hadn't seen this one, but he says, I never want to see Bergveld and Gray start for us ever again.
But all I got to say is, look at the upturn when they were dropped last year.
Yeah.
When we were languishing like 17th, 18th, wherever it was they were dropped, and we got out of it in the end, but the performances were better.
Better than what they were. Yeah, weren't great, but they were better. Yeah, I get that, Mark.
But this is what you get for having kids in a man's world. I'm not being, it's just the way it is.
It is what it is. Bring back the football combination, like I always say. F-Tank says, don't get me started on Sade. And his next sentence should have been, he's such a smooth operator.
He was.
But, don't know if F-Tank's old enough for that. But what a player. Listen, he attacks his defender. It don't matter if it's Archie Gray, whoever it is, he has a go. You know, and sometimes it comes off for him.
Personally, I'd like to know how much he is, and can Nick put a sneaky bid in for him?
35, 40 mil, and let me. I'm gonna now as well. On top of that, yeah, if we're talking about Sade and getting players in, this is where your panties probably get a little bit wet, Sheriff. He's on 10 grand a week at Brentford.
Is that it? We could put him on 50 and he thought he won the lottery.
Don't exactly affect our wage structure.
Christ.
But obviously, people ain't looking, Mark. You know, people are
allegedly, Enoch had probably got that down the back of the sofa.
Listen, Sade was mentioned by many fans, last season while we were still playing. When the window comes up, we should be having a look at this bloke. Yeah. Again, it's all about levels. He might not be the bloke that gets you to the promised land. Yeah. But he will be part of that step level.
He's certainly a stepping stone, isn't he?
Exactly.
What else have we got on the left that's better than him?
Tell.
I said better than him.
Oh, sorry, I misheard you, mate. It's these earphones, you know.
It must be. It must have had a bit of a.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Tell at the moment, and that's
I want us to sign him just for the songs they can make up about him.
Well,
smooth operator and all
be
that.
sick, wouldn't it? Can you
Yeah,
imagine it down the
it
lane?
would be.
Your love is
Yeah,
king.
yeah. Smooth operator. You're a
Our
smooth
Kev's a
operator.
smooth operator.
Yeah.
There you go. That's enough of that singing biz
Yes.
at
Yes.
10:30 in the morning.
I have
Listen, big
noticed the
up.
numbers watching have dropped when me and you
Well,
burst
yeah,
into song.
yeah. It's just knocked 50 people off of the old.
Yeah.
There you go. Listen, we're talking about every comment. Big up to everyone who's in the chat. I do apologise if I don't get to you. We've stuck the link in the chat. Well, I have. I've stuck the link in
Well,
the
you
chat.
sneak that in.
It's in the bottom.
There are
And,
3-star. There's 4-starred ones, mate. I'll just
well,
flick through these if you want.
yeah, go on, mate. Go on.
Futures has sent 10 joules.
10 joules, 10 joules. Yeah, go on.
Futures also sent 100 joules.
Interesting.
And
Thanks, Futures.
bloody hell.
Sorry,
The
mate.
Dunnerlist obviously got what I did and got 1,000 free ones. And he said, stuff sending them 10 at a time. He sent the whole bloody lot over.
It's got to be done, isn't it? That's what I did when
Well, that's
mine
what
came.
I
I
did.
can't remember who I sent mine to now. I can't even remember. And I saw them. As soon as they came up, I was watching a stream, whoever it was, I can't remember. And I've gone, yeah, that'll do. Bang. Sent them in. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
I had
So, yeah.
1,000 free ones and I sent it to Nige and he said, I hope we realise these are £1 a joule. And I said, I know where you live. I should be up knocking on your door. Can you lend me £999?
That'll do.
If that
Yeah.
was the case.
Yeah.
But
Right.
big up to all of you for the jewels. I don't know what they are.
I'm going to have a read up and see what it's all about, but it don't matter. It's all right. Big up to Maz as well. Maz is in the office. Maz, feel
I'll set
free.
him on it. And
Feel
so
free to
you're
jump
in
on,
charge.
Maz.
And so you're in charge of having a look what these jewel things mean.
Yeah, I'll have a look, see what it means.
Yeah.
I'll put a link in the bottom of the chat again, Maz, if you want to jump on and spit your home truths. If you're not too busy, you're more than welcome to. Stevie DJ, 1 to 2 favourite this morning, is in the house. I had a
Straight in.
1,000 on to win 500, Steve, by the way. You're making me so much money, Steve, coming in the morning, 2 to 1 on. I'm taking it every time because I know you're going to be there. Big up to Joey. We'll come to Joey shortly. Steve, as you was here first, give us your, I've forgot the word again. I know what I want to say. Not assumption, appraisal of what you saw last night, Steve.
Oh,
Well, before I even do that, I'm going to come in with some stats for you, right? So since the beginning of the 24-25 season, we played 77 games in the Premier League, right? We've won 21, drawn 16, and yesterday was our 40th defeat in the league in 77 games. Now, if people are expecting, like, I've had a lot of fans saying before the season started, we should be expecting top 4, top 5. Get that out your heads now, because simply, De Zerbi came in with 7 games to go and had to save us, right? He's now having to rebuild a squad that's been piss poor put together for the last few seasons, right? It's going to take him time. He's got to weed out all the dross. Do you know what I mean? And I think that we just need to temper our expectations, because we ain't finishing top 4, top 5 this season. We'll be lucky if we finish in the top 10. If we finish in the top 10, then we take it, don't we? Because this squad, you can quite clearly see, is not ready at the moment. That's where I am with it. And to be honest with you, like, Enoch know we needed forwards. De Zerbi knows we need forwards. He's kind of come out and given a little bit of a nudge the last few weeks. But even he said yesterday, we're not ready. We're not. After the Hoppenhagen game, I knew we weren't going to be ready. And that just screams like where we are as a football club right now. Do you know what I mean? It's just awful. It's not just this season. It's not just going to be this season. It's going to be it's the last 2 seasons as well. We've got PTSD from the last 2 seasons, and you could see that yesterday in some of the players that have been here for 2 years. Yeah, I'm not going to go too hard on the new signings because they've only just come in, right? That's fine, but I'm not going to go hard on them. But Do you know what I mean? It's the other players that have been dross for the last 2 years, and you can see
Steve, what are you saying about Lucas Bergvall performance yesterday? What are you saying about Archie Gray yesterday? What are you saying about Tell yesterday? What are you saying about Tonali? What are you saying about Fernandez when he come on? Talk to me, Steve, because I didn't see anyone that even gave a 7 out of 10 yesterday. No one, Steve. Tell me, Steve, why has it gone like this? Why are we so short? Is it lack of pre-season? Is that part of it? Is it ENIC haven't done their job properly in the last 6-7 weeks to get forwards in? Is it a conglomeration of everything, if you like, that's gone on since we managed to stay up at the end of last season?
It's everything, mate. It's ENIC, it's lack of pre-season, it's the ridiculous thing about having to travel halfway around the world to play Chelsea. Do you know what I mean? What are we doing here? Do you know what I mean? We play Chelsea twice, at least twice a season, right? Just leave it for that. What's the point? It's ridiculous. And De Zerbi said they're fatigued. They haven't had a pre-season. He's had to kind of, play players that you wouldn't even normally get started. I mean, Archie Gray is a right back. Come on, man. Do you know what I mean? What are we doing here? Porro's come back, and apparently there's a problem with him now. So how long's that problem going to be with him for? He's our only decent fit, main right back this season. So if he gets croaked, it's Archie Gray again. It's going to have to be Archie Gray. Do you know? This is what I'm saying. It's just disorganisation from the club yet again. Yes, all right. We've all said beginning of the window, great. Bang, 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 bang. The signings, perfect. Yeah. The level of player that we were bringing in is better than what we had previously. Yeah. We're not buying kids. We're not spunking 40 million on a kid. Yeah. But the thing is that they didn't do anything for 7 weeks, where we knew that Richarlison and Solanke are not good enough. But this is what we're stuck with. And De Zerbi knew this. De Zerbi knew this a couple of weeks ago, because he said, yeah, I want to keep Richarlison. I think Solanke's a good player, because he knew he was going to have to rely on him, because the club haven't done anything in that forward line. Players like Tell. Do you know what I mean? So he knew in his head that these as the weeks went on, the forwards weren't going to come in. So he was like, I've got to praise these players up, man. I've got to get the best out of them because I've got to rely on these two. And you saw yesterday, Richarlison couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat. Do you know what I mean? And things like that, yeah? It's just, I said to my son, Richarlison's got trampoline legs, mate, because everything just bounces off him. Do you know what I mean? It's just absolutely ridiculous. And this whole 40 defeats thing has coincided with when Solanke came in with Richarlison. So for the last 2 years, we've had Richarlison and Solanke as our strikers, and we've only won 21 games out of 77 and lost 40. Now, I'm not just saying it's just them. It's your Archie Grays, it's your Bergvall, it's your whoever else has been playing. Do you know what I mean? So it's it's just. Oh, mate, seriously, I don't want to. I don't want to panic too soon. But
no, I get you.
But what I saw yesterday was what I've seen for the last 2 years. Do you know what I mean? Which is why I can't really go in on the new players, because it was their first competitive game for Spurs. So I can't really go in on them too hard just yet. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you, Steve. I get you. Fair play.
Yeah, that's why I am with it, mate. I just think, and basically everybody just temper their expectation for this season, because, like I said the other day, it's going to be a roller coaster again.
Yeah. Well played, Steve. Good thoughts, mate. Maz, I'll come to you in a sec if you don't mind. Joey was just in before you. Joey, how are you this morning, mate? And what's your feeling this morning, Joe, after watching that last night, mate? I'll let you take the reins, mate.
Well, I still want to fight if anyone's up for it.
Well, there you go. Happy days. It'll be arranged.
I agree with everyone. Well, with Steve saying temper your expectations, but I'm sure, Steve, you thought we were going to win yesterday. I'm sure when you were on, you said we were going to win 2-1 or something along those lines.
That was me. I said that.
No, that weren't me, mate. That weren't me.
I think the majority of people, as I said last night, thought we were, or said we were going to win. And I don't know why,
It's all hopium, though, isn't it? It's the first game of the season.
It is, and I get people go, "Oh, you're not a true supporter if you think we're going to lose." Well, I'm a realist, and I didn't think for 1 minute we were going to win. But our problems are more than what you saw yesterday, and that's the scary thing. If ever a club loved an injury crisis, it's Tottenham. Okay, we love an injury crisis, and it doesn't matter who we buy. That team yesterday is what you end up with this season if we have another injury crisis.
Yeah,
and that is a huge, huge worry for me. And I think how De Zerbi's talking. I mean, I'm not being funny. If I'm spending 100 million on a player, I do expect him to be fit for the first game of the season. Whilst De Zerbi's saying the players aren't fit, isn't it his job to get them fit? Whilst we all go, oh, we didn't have a really good pre-season. Why have we got to go halfway across the world to play Chelsea? Well, if you want the money in the club to spend on £100 million players, you have to do these commercial ventures that they do, whether we agree with them or not.
Yeah.
And, do you know, I enjoyed the chat last night, and I enjoyed listening to the father and son. And it was very interesting. I think the dad's Simon and the son was Lee.
That's right. Yeah.
It was interesting listening to Lee because he sums up for me, and this isn't a criticism of him at all. It isn't a criticism of anyone or any fan, but it kind of sums up a huge chunk of his fan base. He obviously loves a bit of Jed Spence, and that's one of his favourite players or whatever. The same as
that's fair enough.
You know, people like Hoddle, Mabbott, Roberts. You know, I mean, I've had some very dubious favourite players. I mean, I enjoyed watching Davinson Sanchez when he first came to the club. Look how that turned out.
Good luck. So did you get your glasses, Joe?
So I get it, but I think a lot of fans rate players a lot more than they are, and that's why we come to a position where we lose 3-0 and everyone's up in arms. I mean, these players aren't, whether they're still at the club or whether they're not at the club, they aren't as good as we like to think they are. Whether it's because we like a player or because we only remember the good and not the bad, I don't know. But we can buy as many players as you want. I don't think it matters. There's a mentality issue within the club, and as Steve said, the last 2 years show that. And I think whilst you've got a lot, the majority of that squad is the same squad that's been there for the last 2 years, you're going to have these problems because, I mean, we didn't even start well yesterday. We were under the cosh from
minute one.
The first minute.
It was men against boys. Men against boys the whole game.
And well, 5 of our team were boys, weren't they? That's another situation. But I just think our problems are a lot deeper than just throwing money at it, and that's all I've got to say on it because I'm just really pissed off about it all.
Yeah, fair play, Joe. Thanks for remaining calm through that monologue there, Joe.
He still wants to scrap with somebody, though. If anyone's up for a fight.
If anyone's up for a row, Joe is up for it, mate. He's right in the mood this morning. Maz, welcome to you, Maz. Thanks for jumping on. Appreciate your words all the time, mate. Morning to you. Maz, how are you feeling this morning? Did you expect anything different?
I've got progressively more angry as the yesterday went on, the night, and then this morning.
Yeah.
The more it sinks in and you think about it, the more glaringly obvious the problems are at this football club.
Mm-hmm.
I disagree with Joe. I think it is about throwing money at it, but it's about throwing money at it for the right players with the right mentality. And I'll give you a perfect example. Out of those 11 players on the pitch, who were the best ones? Well, Robertson
he was one of
the best one. And why is he one of the best ones? Well, all of this window, everyone's like, why have we bought Robertson? He's finished. He's 32 years old. They give all of the excuses under the sun, right, about why we shouldn't have got him. But the reason why we bought him is because he's a player that's won it all and played at the highest level, near the top of the league, for best part of a decade for Liverpool. Okay? And even if his standards his ability has dropped, he's lost a yard of pace and everything, he just showed why he's head and shoulders above a lot of the other players in that team. I do agree with Joe is that what I saw I saw Stoll go on we are Tottenham TV, and this isn't to dig out Sim and Ben. I've met them a few times, so they're good lads. But their pushback to him on the players is the main reason why standards has fallen so low at this club, and we've been speaking about it for the best part of 6-7 years now.
Yeah.
Because we have this need to build up or make heroes out of players that don't deserve to be made heroes. And I've got to the point now, and Scott M's going to be really happy at this. I'm going to be so brutal. It is Moore's fault that he missed those chances. If he wants to remain at Spurs, right, you've got to show the club why you should remain at Spurs. You don't have a God-given right, son, right, to be at Spurs. Right? You don't throw your toys out the pram last season because you think you're this talent and you should be in the team, so you want to go out on loan or get sold. Right? If you don't want to be at the club, leave. Right? Because you haven't shown anyone anything. You know, surely when you're a young footballer and you have an opportunity at goal, you put your laces through it. Don't try and pass it into the net. It's not Jimmy Greaves. Right? He's not Jurgen Klinsmann. He's got to prove himself. And he had 3 opportunities and he didn't take none of them. And they were open goals near enough with a bit of an angle on it. And Sheriff said that if that was Son or Kane, even a young Kane, when he first started out, one of those, or if not all of them, would have gone in.
Yeah.
Right? And, you know... Bergvall and Gray, they should not be at Tottenham Hotspur. Yeah. They've had an opportunity, right? We bought them 2 years ago, right? We have failed them as a club because we haven't developed them, but that's tough, right? They need to move on. They're not good enough. They shouldn't be at Tottenham Hotspur.
They're not for what we need at this present time.
Well, they're not for anyone or what Tottenham Hotspur needs. You know,
but
you have to have standards.
They may develop.
But they're 20 years old. They're grown up now, right? You know, they may develop. Sure, they may do, but maybe not at Tottenham Hotspur. They won't.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't think so
we're not a nursery. We shouldn't be a nursery for young players that haven't proved themselves. We should be a nursery for players with absolute talent, right? That show something and they can deliver. That's why big clubs recycle the young talent more frequently than we do. And when they do find a young talent that can perform, they give him the opportunity. But what we do is we bring in young talent, we play them, and then we hope that they become good. And then they linger around the squad. Right? It's asinine that we behave in this way. Because what happens is you stick those 2 lads into that team, right? And they're not the only reason why we lost yesterday, but they're one of they are, you know, they're the reasons why we conceded some of those goals. And that's why they got hauled off. And when De Zerbi came in last year, after one game, he realised he needed to drop those players and bring in Paulinho and Bentancur. Bentancur, when he came on yesterday, I'm not saying he had the best game, but you could see he was actually the best midfielder when he came on for us because he actually could hold the ball and pass it around, you know, and he was all over the pitch. And that's Bentancur, who's past his best, you know. So we need to stop being so polite to our players. Richarlison and Solanke should not be at Tottenham Hotspur. This is why I was going on 7 weeks ago about the sequencing of signing these players. Because what we've done is exactly what I said would happen at the start of the window. Because we didn't address the most important part of our team last year, we're now lost the first game of the season, right? Already.
Yeah.
And it's all because we didn't secure the forwards first. and then allow the players in the other positions to leave and replace them, because that work is a hell of a lot easier than getting in forwards. But we did it back to front. We got the easy ones in first, right? And we've left the most important stuff to the end of the window. And how funny would it be? And I will laugh if this happens, if Gakpo doesn't come and Mamouche doesn't come.
Oh,
right.
The shit'll hit the fan, Maz. I'll tell you, if Mamouche don't come in there, I think it will anyway, because it's part of the deal, isn't it?
Yeah. So you know, and you know, with Spurs, nothing's a given. There's always a possibility that will happen. You know, I think De Zerbi really fucked up yesterday, and I'm one of his biggest fans, right? But I tried to be positive. I went on Stell's pre-match show and we discussed it. I tried to be positive about, you know, this game. But when I saw that team and I saw Ritchie, Bergvall, Gray ahead of your £85 million signing, I mean, what on earth is De Zerbi thinking? The club, they spent 85 million quid for a midfielder and they don't play him. Who does that? You spent £85 million and either he's not fit or he's not playing. How can he not be fit?
Maz, look at the bench. If you look at the bench, Tottenham have never had a bench like that as far back as I can remember, whereas so many first-teamish players that are on that bench that were not fit to play. But he's had to put them on the bench, but they're not ready, Maz.
And having this leadership group, right, where you got Gray in there, right? You got Maddison in there. Well, absolute nuts. Maddison should be sold. He should be one of the first players out the door. You know what I mean? Like, all these players really rate themselves. This is what I've realised. They all rate themselves, right? Richarlison rates himself. Oh, I don't know whether I want to leave or not. No one wants you at Spurs. Sell him. Give him away on a free. You know, Maddison. Where you know, he came out on Twitter and he says, "Oh, you know, your ITKs aren't ITKs because you know I'm going to play and all that sort of shit." Well, yeah, you can't run, mate. Barely run yesterday. Did nothing. We need to be ruthless at Tottenham Hotspur. The only way we're going to solve these problems is if we're ruthless, right? And from what I can see, the only players that we've been ruthless to, right, is the players that actually wanted to leave, which isn't really being ruthless, is it? Right, and I would argue that those players that wanted to leave, maybe with the exception of Romero, shouldn't have left. We should have forced Spence to stay, right? Because it's not that he's the answer to our problems, but where you have a scenario where Gray has to be your right back and your captain, right? That's where Spence comes in. So we should have done a much better job in persuading him to stay. A much better job, if we're short.
Yeah, fair
Man,
play.
you know you were saying about Fernandes, right? Yeah. Like, and apparently people have been saying he's not fit yet. Yeah. But the second half, when he came on, he looked fine to me. In fact, him and Bentancur made a difference when they came on. You know what I mean? Some of the passes that we were getting through to some of our players, obviously we've got absolutely dross up front, but some of the things they were doing in midfield, we looked a lot better in the second half, didn't we? Do you agree?
I do agree, and this is why I'm angry about it, because those two players came on and they had more energy, more legs than all of the players that came before them. And I mean, and Sheriff was right. They were better at us at every single aspect of that whole game. And what was obvious is how much fitter they were than us. And some of these players, how the hell can they not be fit? Maddison came back last year, right, for the last 2-3 games, right? Why on earth hasn't he spent the summer getting himself into the best shape of his life to make up for what happened last year? That's unacceptable. I think top managers like Conte, Jose, Alex Ferguson, even Wenger would never allow that shit to happen under their watch. That's what makes them great managers. Klopp as well. That's what Pep would never allow that shit to happen. Right? That's why Grealish and all those that don't get in, and Foden didn't get into their teams. Because as soon as they see shithousery, lack of effort, and all that stuff, they're out of the team. End of story. Right? But we don't do that. We're not ruthless enough at Spurs. It is like a holiday camp still. And I saw this pre-season nonsense starting with Ange. Right, when we had one of the stupidest pre-seasons under Ange, where we played all kids the whole pre-season, and in that season where we finished 17th, none of those players that were in the first team came back fit, and our form went downhill really fast. Right, and it's carried on ever since.
Yep, Maz, thank you for that, Maz. Appreciate it. Mr. Box Office, we'll come to you just in a minute. Mark was in just before you, so we'll come to Mark first. Thanks for waiting, Mr.
Chairman,
B.
President,
Yeah.
Secretary.
You can let. I'm sure Alex is dying to go because you got to let the main event talk.
Listen, listen. This is our channel. The main event has to wait until he's introduced. Unfortunately.
Well, to be honest, as far as the Mike Army goes, you are the chairman, president,
secretary,
treasurer, everything, because me and him can't be fussed.
Yeah, there you go. So you've got that job, mate. You've got that job. Mr. T, come on, mate. Tell us, is it what you expected last night, or did you expect a bit more as far as, I don't know, I think effort's the wrong word, but it blew my mind, mate, to be quite honest with you, commentating on it and what was going on. What's your feelings on it, Mark?
Yeah, I mean, I was hoping for a 2-1 scrappy, horrible game that would win, but we were completely bullied, out-muscled, out-fought, everything. Out-managed everything. I think Mad subbed it up beautifully. I mean, I don't want to use somebody else's, but Stell said exactly right. With Senesi and Van Hecker are rubbish in the air, and I think he got that spot on. With all Spurs analysis and backroom staff, how you thought you could play against Brentford, who with their long throws, crosses, Thiago up front, did not think maybe we should play Danso in there instead of Van Hecken. I don't understand. But yeah, I mean, when you look at their man of the match who cost 40 million, who ran the show, who bullied Spurs off the park, let's be honest, they completely out-muscled us. It was men against boys. It could have been 7, 8, 9, 10-0. And no Spurs fan could say anything less. They were completely far better than us. My only thing is, though, I think as well, with all these technical players we've brought in, we still lack physicality in areas.
Yeah, I think you're right, Mark. Well, it looked like that yesterday anyway. That's a dead set. I'm going to bring Mr. Box Office in now. Before I do, there's 200 of you in here. We are 6 subscribers short of 1,500. If any of you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe to any of the guests that are on that have got channels. We'll try and get their links put up at some stage. Alex, over to you, mate. You saw what you saw last night. Give us your verdict, sir.
Firstly, Mr. T, Mark, because there's too many Marks here. Yeah, no disrespect. Mark, absolutely right. The boss of the show is right. I'm going to wait because I was purring anyway, and I've already said it on my channel, Mr. Box Office TV, what I feel about this game anyway. You know what I mean? So you just need to go and watch that. But I came on because Mads, you're the gift that keeps on giving. Yeah, I say some of the things that you said. Yes, I said the things that you said. I said I follow what you say. I've said it myself, so it's not really anything special. But the thing you said about Mikey Moore, I've got to be honest, I think you're a little bit harsh. Because, yeah, I don't believe in the upsets. I think if you're old enough, you should be brave enough to be in the squad, yeah. But I blame the club on him, okay? Because for me, he was one half out the door. Let's be honest, it's Cologne. And the only reason why he hasn't been out the door is because we haven't got any forwards in, right? So that's why he was playing yesterday. That wasn't because he wanted to play. Right? Yeah, he might have played. He said, oh, yeah, I've got the opportunity to try my best. But he looked out of place because he can see that he's well out of place. Right? It's a different conversation with Archie Gray, the Harry Winston impersonator, and Bergvall. It's a different conversation, especially with Archie Gray. I don't need to repeat myself because we all know what that is. leadership group, and captain. And how many years they've been at Tottenham for? But for me, Mikey Moore, I think, yeah, he missed the chances. But what did Tottenham fans expect? When you're putting somebody in who was not ready, it's the first game of the Premier League, and you're expecting him to do something in that game. If he does do something, then the expectations go up, and then you've got a youngster that has got the world on his feet, and he's completely gone. And really, to be honest, he should have been on loan. Like I said, he was one half out the door. The only reason why he was playing that game because he had no forwards, because most of our attacking players are injured and trolling us like Madison's doing, saying we're fit and turning up and looking like rusty, so rusty that a tin pot looks better than him. Sorry if that's offended people. I'm just trying to get an analogy out there. Sorry, I do apologise.
Let me know when I can come in, Alex, and I can respond to you.
But no, I'm just saying.
Well, I disagree, because this was the same Mikey Moore that was unhappy that he wasn't going to get more regular first team football, right? And he was agitating for a move, which is why he got his move to Rangers, right? And he's agitating. He was agitating in, well, we don't know. This is all hearsay, right? But he was agitating for a move all season. So I understand what your point is that we failed him as a club, right? I mean, we fail every player as a club, so it's not it's a standard with Spurs at the moment. But when you have an opportunity to play for one of the biggest clubs in the world, I don't care whether you should have gone or not. You've got 3 open goals. You're a forward. You've got to prove it. When is he going to prove himself? Right? If he thinks every player rates themselves, right, and they think it should be at the highest level. If you've got 3 open goals, when are you going to prove yourself? And if you don't prove yourself, like many of us when we were youngsters, right, and we thought we were something and we weren't, right, you get cut down. Right?
You just
you get taught a lesson.
You just asked the question.
Right? What question?
You just
ask me the question.
You've answered your own question. You've answered your own question. He wanted to leave. He wanted to leave because he wanted to get some more time football because he knew he's not going to get any chances. So really, this was
he wanted to leave because he wants first team football because he believes he can play first team football for Tottenham Hotspur. And he got his opportunity. He got his opportunity, and he fucked it. That's what happened, Alex.
But the point is though, right? Spurs knew this, right? And they should have carried on with the loan and got the forwards in so he could go on loan.
And it's De Zerbi's fault, and the clubs. I've already said that, Alex.
Yeah.
I've already blamed
this is where my argument's coming from. This is where my argument's coming from. I'm not here to defend youngsters because I don't think if you're a youngster, you should back yourself if you're going to be in the team and stop complaining. But the point is, though, we're not forgetting history right now, right? We're forgetting what's happened before. He was 1 foot out the door to Cologne. He was 1 foot out the door, right? Literally, nearly getting the deal done. And then it's just stalled because we haven't got any forwards in. That is the club's fault.
Yeah, of course it's the club's fault, Alex. It's the club's fault that they got offered 50 million for Bergvall and they didn't bloody sell him. 50 million? Are they mad?
But we're not talking about now you're changing subject now. Now you're changing
subject. I'm not changing subject. I'm giving
now you're changing the subject now. See how you're trying to change the subject now to put it into your agenda.
No, it's not. No, Alex, right? The players that wanted to leave have left. Yeah? Spence, Romero, right? They left. Right? Mikey Moore hasn't left. They've kept him behind. Of course it's the club's fault. I've already said to you, you keep repeating the same thing to me, right? It is the club's fault. It's Roberto De Zerbi's fault. But players have to take accountability and responsibility for their own performances. Stop giving him an excuse. You talk about standards, Alex. You are. You're giving him an excuse. Right? You talk about standards. But in the same thing, you contradict yourself. You come on and start defending Mikey Moore.
Okay, so what I'm saying is though, because now you're not listening to me now. You're trying your agenda now. It's clever you're trying to do that. Yeah, this is why I like debating you. My point was though, yeah, maybe he needs to do that, but the club have got responsibility right? The clubs still have the responsibility, though. And I'm sorry. Yeah, I might be repeating myself, but I'm sorry. We've got to take the responsibility here. We have to take the responsibility here. We knew
Alex,
he was
what
not
part
ready.
of me blaming the club haven't you heard today?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I'm not.
That's what you're attacking me on. I already blame the
But you're
fucking
not
club,
listening to me
Alex.
now. No, you're not listening to me now. You're not listening to me now. So I'm changing. I'm sticking to what I'm saying at the moment. I'm not looking at Mikey Moore because he knows. I think he knows he's not good enough for this. I don't think he knows he's good enough for this. Right? As soon as I saw him in the team, I sat there and thought, we saw him pre-season. He was weak. He was so out of place. We saw him in pre-season. We'll talk about Luka winning his Barnet more than bloody Mikey Moore.
You know when Vuskovic went out on loan, right, last year, he said, I know I'm not as good as Van der Ven and Romero. I want to go out on loan, right? Right? He hasn't done that, has he? When he agitated for a move away from Tottenham, but we were trying to persuade him to stay, right? He was moaning that he wasn't getting first team football, right? Now he's had his opportunity at Spurs to get first team football, right, in the Premier League. He fucked it. That's the facts. And facts don't care about your feelings, Alex.
I don't think he's fucked anything. I think we all knew he was going to be quite out of his depth. We all knew this because he saw in pre-season though. So the problem is that we didn't make the effort with him. I cannot look at Mikey Moore and sit there and say it's fully on him, right? That's the club's
I never said it's fully on him.
Yeah, but
there's many failure points.
But I think we're coming from two different angles here. What I'm trying to say is that I'm not here to try and defend youngsters all the time because I'm not there for it. Because look at the way I feel about other youngsters like Archie Graham Birdbow. But the difference is between them two and Archie and Marky Moore. For me, he would have been on loan if we didn't get any if the forwards were in sooner, and that is the point because he wouldn't not left him in that position, and that's where I can soften my stance on Mikey Moore. Yes, you can look at him and say, yeah, you had your chance, you messed it up. Yeah, cool. Two things can be right. Okay, we can come to that.
How do Arsenal do it then? How do Arsenal do it with their youngsters? They're 16-year-olds and 17-year-olds that come in and do 100%. Million times better. Right, exactly. And our youngsters come in and they're shit, right? And the one player that did deserve to get a go at Tottenham was Lancashire, and we bloody sold him.
Well, that's us being backwards again. We're going back to how the club is. We're back to the club is how it is.
The players also need to take responsibility themselves, right? And need to stop blaming other people, right? And when they get an opportunity to perform, they take it. But they,
okay, so say that to tell them. Say that to tell them that's had 2 years at Tottenham. Say that to tell them that's had 2 years at Tottenham.
2-3 hours on the
show. If you've got the same energy for Mikey Moore, have the same energy for Tell as well then. You know what I mean? If we're going to play that game.
Just remember, Alex, right? I named Tell, and I was the first person to do it. Generational Werner 3.0. It's exactly what he is, right? In fact, I'll take Werner now over Tell.
I could come to better than that with what I said about Timo Werner, what I've described him as well. Yeah, that former Southampton player. I can't remember the Irish player. So I mean, you know, we all done it. You know what I mean? So you know what I mean? It's like I've had the T-shirt already. Thank you very much. But my point is though, is that I do think Tottenham Hotspur need to take more responsibility on this to just get these things done quickly. So we don't put these youngsters, especially Mikey Moore, in this situation. Because the thing is, though, we're now waxing lyrical about Luka Williams Barnet, right? Think about it. We put Luka Williams Barnet in that situation.
Alex, sorry. I haven't got a clue what you're on about, mate. Are you blaming the board more than the player here?
Yeah, board, yes.
Yeah.
That's the point. That's the point I'm making.
Yeah,
that's the point I'm making.
Yeah,
that's what.
Go on, Alex. Go on, mate.
Yeah, that's the point I've been making. Yeah.
All right, fair play, Alex. Cheers, you and Maz there for that. Dan, welcome into the show this morning. Hope you're well. Hope you've had a cup of coffee.
I'm not allowed coffee. That's why I got my Lucozade.
Oh, he's got his Lucozade. That'll do. Dan, how did you feel about last night, mate? Just sorry to come in bluntly with the question, but
it is what it is, isn't it?
It is what it is. Yeah, go on, mate.
I think everything has to take some blame for that. The club, that we're not prepared, we're not ready yet. I mean, Sava was saying that for a long time. So was a few people as well. We were not prepared for yesterday. Could we have had all this done? I don't know, because I think City had another plan in the background as well of how they wanted this to go out, because they got players on the coming in and everything else. But then maybe we should have looked elsewhere. Maybe we shouldn't have took this long. You can still see that club, that team is half broken. With the team he started yesterday, this is where De Zerbi has to take some responsibility. From what I read with Fernandez, he was only 50% fit. So maybe he didn't want to play him the full game. I get that. But surely there is going to be problems, even down to the point where you have Gray as your captain. He had a terrible game along with a lot of others, so I'm not just going to put it on him, but I'm going to focus on him a bit because he was the bloody captain. Why the hell...
Comes with a territory, Dan, doesn't it?
Exactly that. Why the hell do you go and put a 20-year-old who has been pretty bog standard at best, and that's being polite, at Tottenham as your bloody captain? That's got to go on De Zerbi's head, no one else's. Would you really want that as your captain? To me, that is just crazy. That is mental. Especially when you got someone like Robertson sitting out there, or even Gallagher. Not saying Gallagher had a good game by any chance, or Tonali. Are you gonna sit there as Robertson, who's won everything, even Tonali, who's played in Champions League and won titles at AC Milan, and are you going to sit there and listen to some little prick start running his mouth off to you on the side of the pitch? Some little 20-year-old. I'm sorry, but the way it works, if he come up to me and started running his mouth off and I've been playing and one thing's like Robertson, I'd backhand him and tell him to sit down. Who are you talking to? How can you have respect for a captain like that? You wouldn't. No normal person would, who has done things that like Tonali and Robertson has, especially Robertson. That is just, it's stupid through and through. And that one's got to be on De Zerbi's head through and through. Then with the way the rest of the team played, yeah, Gallagher, wrong position. I got that wrong. I thought he might be able to hold that 10 role all right. No, Benji had it right from day one. We should have stuck him in the middle, give Tonali more stability next to him, because Tonali basically had to play midfield on his own.
Yeah.
And then use Bergville as the number 10, even though he wouldn't have been much, but would have had more stability in midfield. Benji got that totally right. I got that bit wrong. I thought Van Hecke, I don't think I've seen a player make a worse 45 minutes first game than that. That was terrible.
Porro's one was pretty shocking.
Against Leicester, wasn't it?
Porro's one was the worst, maybe.
I don't know. I don't know if it was as bad. It's on a thin borderline, Maz, that one. I can get where you're coming from. It's on a thin line. That was bad. And then I'm not going to judge him properly until 6 months gone. But yesterday also showed why you need an experienced goalkeeper. That second goal was on his head. People say that he shouldn't have had the shot towards him. People should have done their job. Yep, I'll go with that. But then that's going to have to be the excuse you make for a keeper every time that a shot gets taken at him. No. He punched that right. He basically balled that off himself right to the man's foot when he's diving sideways and could have palmed that off to the right-hand side. That's an inexperienced goalkeeper. And that cost us a goal yesterday as well. Even down to the third one, can't totally blame him for that. He was on the floor, but he couldn't even get his hands out to bloody grab it. He totally missed it when he tried. So he's got to take some fault for yesterday as well. The only one who had a respectable game yesterday, I mean, Mikey Moore, did you know he was on the pitch? First half, I didn't even see him.
No.
And then Tell, I thought, again, first half, okay. Second half, the only one who had a respectable game yesterday was Robertson. And yeah, that first one, which you can sort of put the goal around him a little bit, but He's got two players either side of him and no one backing him up. Senesi weren't no better. So Robertson, I think yesterday was our only man that had a respectable game, and then Fernandez and Bentancur when they came on the pitch, apart from Bentancur giving away the penalty. That was terrible yesterday in every means and manner. That was just a carry-on from last season, is the way I see that.
Yeah.
That's my assumption of the game, mate.
Yeah, fair play, Dan. Fair play, mate. Still 220 of you odd in here this morning. I've got some fine guests on here that say it as they see it. Whether people want to hear it or not is a different matter. But
and can I butt in and say we are 5 away, mate?
There you go, 5 away from 1,500. Hit that sub button if you haven't. Like the stream and please subscribe to our guests that have channels that are on here today. We'll try and get the links up in the channel in a bit. Rain's in. Go on.
Mark, just quickly, before Rain comes in, just to explain myself at the moment, because it fathers me when I'm having debate. People just have to make fun of me in the chat, which is it's just trolling, and I love the haters. They give me so much energy. Like, it's quite clear what I was saying. It's not me defending Mikey Moore. Yeah, Mikey Moore needs to do something. Yes, he's young. Yeah, cool. But like I said, we were forgetting what's happened before in the transfer window. He was nearly leaving to go to Cologne, and he's still looking like he's going to leave to Cologne.
Probably
right?
will, yeah.
So that's the point. So the point is, though, like, yeah, he shouldn't have been playing yesterday, right? We saw him in pre-season; he was crap, right? So it wasn't an advertisement for him to be in that team yesterday. So for me, like, this is on the club solely for me, right? Yeah, you can say that he's fussed and moaned and whatever he is. He's 18 years old. I expect that. You know what I mean? He's not like pretty grown up anyway. I'm not defending his age, but that's what people at that age do. That's why you don't trust those sort of players at that age. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm just saying that the Tottenham Hotspur actually did their job, right? Because we were praising this 2.0 Enoch, right? And got the forwards in and stopped wasting our time with Savinho, who might end up being crap. Because listen to some of the Manchester City fans, right? Okay, we wouldn't have Mikey Moore on the right struggling and being anonymous in that game yesterday.
Yeah, right.
Do people understand what I'm talking about now?
Yeah.
Or am I talking in French?
I'm just going to say big up to Tom 81, mate.
Big up, Tom.
I will get to a game at least once this season, and me and you will have Amstel 7.
There you go.
Guys, just before Rain comes in, and big up Rain, basically, would you have kept, right, this is probably going to cause debate, would you have kept Solomon? Now, Solomon was our right-sided player all through pre-season, right? Okay. Now, would you just held on to him until we got a replacement towards the end of the window?
No.
I'm just saying, because why is he putting Solomon out on the right if he knew he was going?
Personally, I would have got the business done firsthand and got another right-sided player, or a player could play both sides before we got to this situation. But that's just me. I don't see why we're waiting to the last 10 days or 9 days before we're getting him forwards. It's utter madness.
Well, it's Enoch, isn't it? It's Enoch. It's 26 years of Enoch. This is what they do every single time.
What I said.
They literally now we are in the panic mode of like, oh crap, we've got 10 days to go or 9 days to go. We need to get forwards in now, and they're scrambling around. And from what I can gather, I don't know how true this is. I've seen this for the last 24 hours. Apparently, the Marmouche deal has been agreed, but City are holding off on it and giving it the green light because they want to reevaluate their squad at the end of today's game. What are we doing?
Yeah, what's the chances we get fucked over on that, by the way?
Yeah, 100%.
Just saying.
100%.
Haaland gets injured, then we're fucked.
Yeah,
The Savinho deal is based on, from what I'm understanding, the Savinho deal is based on Mamouche, because Mamouche is because the deal's cheaper for Mamouche is because of something to do with sell-on clause or something like that.
It's a good bit of business.
The money that's heavily on Savinho. I've explained it on my channel as well, my live as well. Yeah. Like, that's it. I mean, Rain would know this, and you know, Maz, and I mean, I'm not saying that everyone. I think everyone kind of knows anyway. You know what I mean, Dan? You know what I mean?
Yeah, we get the gist of it. Let me bring Rain in. Rain, thanks for waiting, and then sort of do a bit of a free for all and talk about the game generally. Really, after that, Rain, could you just give us a quick assessment of where you were at with it from what you saw yesterday, from what we've been talking about before, and sort of mix and match it, if that makes sense?
So, from my perspective, the headline is that what we saw yesterday was a team that knows how to play together and has had very little change over pre-season, and a team that has had a massive amount of change and doesn't yet know how to play together. That's my headline. Obviously, there's a lot of detail underneath, but that's like the nuts and the bolts of it. I was on with Sean. I'm going to repeat some of what I said there. Obviously, I think people have forgotten what Premier League football actually is. People have, over the summer break, have lulled themselves into the classic. We are Tottenham Hotspur, therefore we're just gonna do over all of these other little teams. Brentford are very solid, unspectacular, but solid and reliable mid-table Premier League team.
Yep.
We have been a bottom of the table Premier League team. So I just, over the summer I've been skirting between two camps. It's all going to be fine camp, and it's all going to be a disaster camp, and we're somewhere in the middle. It's all going to be fine camp have been saying two things really weirdly. You can't do it all in one season. We're going to finish in the Champions League spots, right? And I don't get it. I don't get it, right? It's like you can't have both. You can't go. It's going to take. It's going to take. You can't do it all in one window and then say we're going to go from 17th to 3rd or 4th. It just, the two just cannot logically go together. I'm not going to talk about the other side because I think it's demonstrated. It's demonstrated that things have changed at Tottenham, and there's arguments as to why they can't execute, but they're clearly trying to do something different. Yesterday, we had 3 players up front who are not good enough. Tell is effective on the ball, but he hasn't got the wherewithal to. He's not a mature, developed player. Richarlison is a complete waste of space. I'm kind of coming round to Scott M's way of thinking that he's actually a negative impact on the team, that we might actually be a better team if we played with 10 men rather than Richarlison. And Mikey Moore, let's get this right. Okay, this is what I say about young players, like Lancashire last year, right, and Lancashire this year. Young players start here, yeah?
Yeah.
The bar is here.
Yeah.
And what you want from young players is for them to improve up to the bar and then go beyond. And Mikey Moore, if this is Premier League quality, Mikey Moore is here. That does not mean that he can't get there, and he will only get there with the opportunity. However, it is right. Ultimately, we would prefer him to make that jump somewhere else on loan. Ultimately, we would want him to get there by going on loan, which he did. At Rangers, he started badly, and then he upped his level. Great, that's fantastic for a young player. That's what you want. You want to see a young player who can go, oh, do you know what? I'm going to rise to the challenge. So yesterday we had a defenseman in the midfield and a Brentford team which just went, we're not going to let you play and a forward line who gave no support to our to the other two parts of our team whatsoever. And so what happens? It's England versus Argentina again, right? If you're ineffective up front, and that was because Tuchel just took all of our attackers off. But if you're ineffective up front, then the other team can just do whatever the heck they want. And that's what happened yesterday. And unfortunately, unless we sort out our forward line, our midfield isn't going to be allowed to play because the other team isn't going to be scared of what happens when we attack. And our defence is just going to be bombarded. That's just the reality of Premier League football. So they need to sort out these attackers. Very concerning what people are saying about Savinho and Marmoush. There was always a world in which City were going to pull the rug out from underneath us. They don't give a monkeys. They don't give a monkeys. And all this, it's great. It's a great deal for Man City, but we are getting sucked in. And obviously, it's not on us, but we are getting sucked into their dodgy dealings, right? We are, we're not necessarily the ones who are doing it, but if
nothing dodgy with it.
But if you I'm sorry, but UEFA definitely challenged I think Barcelona did it with another player.
Is there anything wrong with what they're doing? Dodgy with what they're doing? They're just doing what a common knowledge would do. It's not illegal. There's nothing wrong with it.
They're price fixing, is what they're doing. They're price fixing a player.
It's their player. Sell it for what they want. What are they doing wrong? Seriously.
Yeah, but you could say the same for all of the.
They're just using their initiative.
Wait a minute. You could say the same for all the Etihad stuff, right? And I actually don't agree with those rules. But do you know what? I don't really care. What I do care about is they're doing some. It is dodgy, right? It is dodgy. They're manipulating prices to maximise profits. That's what they're doing, right?
It's common business sense.
It isn't. Yeah. In the business world, this is highly regulated, right? In the business world, lots of companies do this for like tax reasons, and it is highly audited. Trust me, I know it's highly.
But the world doesn't go around like that, though.
Tax world.
But anyway, whatever. We can argue the goods and the bads of it, right? But we are innocent parties. Yeah, we're third parties. And we are, if UEFA actually investigate it, we are still going to have our name on it, right? And
it's called being a mug.
That's what it's reality of the situation.
Right? Can we get into trouble for it? Could we get into trouble for it?
I don't think we could because
I don't know.
We've done nothing wrong.
But Rain, this is called being the mug. That's what we called it.
It's still a reputation. It's still a reputational thing, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's called being a mug. I don't even know why we're going like this, man. We're just mugging ourselves off here. I mean, honestly, like you're saying that, because we're waiting for Man City, they're doing dodgy dealings, but we're sitting here waiting around to see what's going on. Like we're mugging ourselves off. That's what it's called. It's like you waiting for a lady that's saying that she's interested, but she's always going to say no. It's like you're mugging yourself off.
Well, she's chatting to 5 other blokes, Alec.
That's the point. It's like you might as well put mug on your forehead. What's the point?
No, we should have. I think be looking elsewhere. But I think I was pretty sure we'd get Savinho. I've said that from the start. It looks like it's going to happen. With the other side of the deal, I think the Marmoush one to come through as well. The way they've gone and done it, if we check up the rules, it might be considered a bit out of order as such, but they're not dodging no tax. They're just doing what is right for them. They are doing nothing wrong. Any business with half a clue that would know, right, if I sell him for less money or it doesn't hit that level, then I don't have to pay 15% on top. Then quite easily you sell it for that level, or if you're talking to the club, well, look, we want this and this for both, but give us that bit more for that so we don't have to do that. Any club will bloody do it. It's, for me, you are not going to get in trouble for that. It's too petty. The only ones who are going to have the ump are the ones
This
who are going
is
to
a
lose out.
mute point, though, guys. What's this? This has got the only relevance this has to what happened yesterday was that the players aren't through the door at Tottenham Hotspur.
Exactly,
Right?
I can agree with that.
That's where we agree. That's where we agree. Absolutely, 100%.
But then maybe we should have gone looking elsewhere. Then
This is what we've been saying what we've been saying the last few weeks, though, Dan. What we've been saying the last few weeks. You know what I mean? We've been hanging around too long for this deal.
Been there. I think the deal's already been there for a while, and we've had to wait for them to get their idea of what player they're going to bring in and everything else. I'm not agreeing with it, but I think that is what has happened.
The 3 players from Brentford will be better than what we've got at the moment, wouldn't they? Their striker, their left wing and Sade, and that midfielder.
Well, yeah.
For less money, wouldn't they? Yeah.
That's not even a championship front three. That's not even that front three is absolutely, I think the best word I can use in the morning is probably diabolical. That front three is absolutely shocking. Like I say, Mikey Moore's got to cop it just like the rest. Why? Because he's in a Spurs squad. He's in the Spurs first 11. Okay, lack of experience. I'll cut a young player that. But I'm sorry, he's on the pitch and has to get judged the same as everyone else. And that first half, you didn't even know he was on the bloody pitch.
No.
He was worse than Johnson in that aspect. And that's going some.
I don't judge Mikey
as well.
I
do. I judge any player that plays football at Spurs.
I judge the club for having to play Mikey Moore.
Thank you, Bain. You're saying exactly what I've just said.
I get
that,
but I will judge Mikey Moore because then he shouldn't be getting a contract and he shouldn't be getting paid big money and he should not even see the pitch. I'm not making
that's on the club then.
Because someone's right. That's on him as well.
Thanks, Jula. By the way,
yeah, but we can't just advocate your own responsibility, and your accountability and what your profession
did it for Archie Gray.
Right.
Everyone said Archie Gray's on the pitch and got a contract.
I'm a bit torn, Rain, right? I hear exactly what you're saying and I do agree with you. But from a militant standpoint or a more, I would say more professional standpoint, when you get, let's say you get a young person in your team, right, and they're not quite at that experience level or technical level in whatever profession you're in, right? Yes, you cut them slack, but you also demand a lot from them and you also make them shape up. Maybe in today's modern workplace, it's not quite as harsh as what it was when we were younger, right? And that's the attitude Spurs should have. Like you support them, you give them the facilities, you give them the encouragement, you give them all of that stuff. I'm with you, right? You don't put them in awful situations. But you can't also forget the fact that this is the same player a few seasons ago that was getting the hump because he wasn't getting first team opportunities, right? And he was pining for a move with his family and all that sort of stuff, right? And when you do give that youngster an opportunity, they don't grasp it or they're anonymous and stuff like that. That's where I draw the line. That's where, same with Gray. I can deal with him as the first season, not, being as good as what he can be. The second season, again, you cut them a little bit of slack, saying, look, they're still young, they're developing. But when you're in your third season, I'm sorry, you've got to grow up. You've got to improve, Otherwise,
$70,000 a week, man.
So Gray and Mikey Moore are very, very different cases, right? Gray's got well over 5,000 minutes. I'm talking.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And this is what I'm talking about. Mikey Moore is Premier League level is here. Mikey Moore is below that level, and he will take time to come up. We want him to do that. Do that leveling up in gaming.
Okay.
Outside of the Premier League, right? Whereas Archie Gray has had 5,000 minutes. If Archie Gray hasn't leveled up by now, then he's not going to level up. That's the case. But as well, Maz, right? You said you don't give them responsibility, and that's the point. He's been given the responsibility of going on the pitch. It's like in a finance world, you wouldn't get a 21-year-old grad and get them to sign off the accounts. That's done by somebody who's been working in finance for 20 years and fully qualified.
Then maybe Moore needs to shut up then. And stop
And-
whining that he can't get
and-
in
Yeah,
the team.
but he's an 18 years old though. He's 18 years old, and that's the thing. You
Who
can't
was
expect.
running his mouth
Yeah, no,
off? Who
I
was
think.
running his mouth off,
Yeah,
Alex?
yeah, but
And he needs
but
to shut up.
but sometimes you've got to give him a little bit of slack on that side as well. Because the thing is, though,
No.
the
No.
club. Okay, right. Okay, I think I can come to your thinking, Dan. All right, I can come to your thinking, Mads. Don't get used to it. You know what I'm like, Mads. Right? But my point is that I'm with Rain. Okay, if the stories weren't coming out about him being on loan and we were just about to put him on loan, right? I would say to your point, and he wasn't terrible in pre-season, right? But the point is though, he was nearly on the verge of going to Cologne, and the deal fell through because Tottenham Hotspur have not got any forwards in, so and so he had to stay, right? So they knew clearly he was not good enough. And then it's on De Zerbi. De Zerbi's seen this guy through all pre-season. All pre-season. We've all said he looks out of his depth.
Mm-hmm.
We've all said it. Rain's perfectly done the analogy, right? Don't get used to it, Rain. Right?
I agree with it.
We had Luca
But
Williams
why
Barnett
is
on
he
the bench
running his mouth?
yesterday.
Hang on a sec, Rain. If he's going to run his mouth off, though, yeah, I get it. You can't put the blame on him, and he shouldn't even be on the pitch. That's down to the club and the manager. I totally agree with what you and Rain are both saying, yeah. But on the other perspective of it, he needs to shut up then and stop saying, I want to be playing football in the Premier League and everything. I want to leave the club or this and that so I can get some football and that. Then maybe he needs to perk down a little standard or two and realise that he isn't good enough. But everyone has to get judged the same on the pitch. You cut a younger player that bit of slack through inexperience. I will go with that. But when they blatantly show they just don't turn up on the pitch like he did not, he's got to cop it the same as the rest. Are we going sentimental here?
No,
I hope not.
it's not. It's not.
Exactly.
It's not about. Yeah,
So,
but it's not.
so you've got.
It's not
So
nothing
he's
to
on
do
the
with being
pitch.
sentimental.
He's got to get judged the same.
Yeah,
Others
it's not.
got
It's
more
not
experience. I'll go with that. Yeah, but
yeah.
if you are good enough to have a contract at Spurs and you think you are good enough to play in that 11, just like Bergvall, who should have shut up as well, then you've got to take the shit that comes with it. If he would have gone on and scored 2 of those 3 shots he had, which he should have put one of them in the back of the net, 18 or not, he just passed them to the keeper. He should have just put his foot through it, for God's sake, which wasn't exactly hard to do with the position he was in. Then maybe he shouldn't even have a contract.
Well,
Like what I've always said with Archie Gray, he's on a 70 grand contract. And in that aspect, well, if you've got the contract and you're picked in that first team, you've got to get judged the same, but cut that little bit of leeway for the inexperience. But the mistakes he made with those shots isn't even inexperience. To me, that was lack of capability.
Well, I think it's capability. I think it's capability and also confidence as well. And I think this is where I was a bit unsure putting Mikey Moore in that position when he was in the team. I thought
it wasn't a good idea.
It wasn't a good idea, right? Because I didn't like the team, right? And I just thought, okay, you've seen him in pre-season, he's not ready. We've all said he was not ready. Right, so this has not been handled good at all by the club. Okay, right? Yes, he missed those chances, and yeah, you can blame him. And yes, he maybe needs to shut up as well. But I think at the moment, for me, because of what's happened previously, I do think this is just on the club and De Zerbi and everything else that they haven't handled it better.
I can agree with that, Alex.
And this is why I'm saying after today, they've got to get this sorted right now to make Mike Moore to just get him out of the way so he's not because this can ruin his career.
Who is the one complaining, like Bergvall, that he should be in that he wants first team football?
Well, fair enough. But,
right.
But that's why I'm coming. I'm meeting you halfway. That's why I'm meeting you halfway, Dan.
You too as well.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm meeting you halfway, right? Because I'm the same with Archie Gray and Bergvall, and that's it for me. But I am on the side of what Rain's saying as well, right?
I agree as well.
And I just think it's just because I've been covering the transfer window and I've seen some of the reports of him going on loan and saw that deal stall because of us not getting any forwards in.
I'm looking at a club here and De Zerbi and thinking, yeah, I'm sorry, like you should have never had this guy in this position in the first place. You know what I mean? In the first game, you know, it was kind of asking for trouble. You get what I'm saying? You know, that's what I'm saying anyway.
No, I do agree with what both of you have said. It's just there is the other side to it as well that maybe he wouldn't be looked at so much and got a bit of stick if he would have kept his mouth shut.
I
Because
agree
he's
with
one
you,
who's
Dan.
been saying he's good enough. I think all three of us, four of us, because Maz is saying it as well, are right. It's just two sides to the story, which makes a whole story.
I
think
agree
we
with
can
you,
all
Dan.
agree on that.
Sometimes kids just need to be. Sometimes kids need a little slap, or
I agree.
or the
Figure of
equivalent,
speech.
right? The equivalent, and told, look, just chill out, right? You know,
I
you know, it's the classic thing, right? All teenagers know that they know far more than their parents or or elders, right? They all know it. They all know they know way more until until they become of a certain age and
Until it
realise
comes to the
that the
crunch.
new teenagers are treating them the same way, right? And I was saying the same about Vuskovic,
It's true.
right? You know, Vuskovic was going on, and I said he was badly advised. He was going on, and he needs to play first team football. And actually, what he needed to do was learn how to fight for his place. Is what he actually needed to do, and yet he was being badly advised. Why? Who knows? Maybe whoever was advising him wanted a cut of that 50 million transfer, you know. But you know, young players need sometimes. Like Pep did it to Foden, right? He just kept on telling him, chill out. So yeah, I don't make you right. I don't make you wrong, mate.
I'm just going to jump in with a party political broadcast from the Two Marks show.
Oh,
there are 220 of you in here, and we are 3 subs away from 1,500.
oh.
If you haven't subbed or liked, all that other stuff, but especially the subs, we only want 3. 3.
He's begging
3.
people.
That is it. I'm begging. I don't know what else to do, mate. Do I grind with a hat, or
Well,
do
you
I
can
start
try
playing
that
a
as well,
musical
Sheriff.
instrument, or do a bit of busking, or
come on, you lot. 220 of you in here. 3 of you. Get us to
one now.
1,500.
One.
Then we can look ahead.
One
now.
One.
Sheriff's even got the phone in his hand, counting them down.
It's
Big up,
being
Sheriff.
refreshed
Big up.
constantly.
There you go. People, look, we've got no forwards. Are we going a bit earlier? And I'm just putting it out there. I know we're talking about last night's game in general and, what should have been done.
I'm buttoning again. I am buttoning again. No, the Pirate Political broadcast will finish now. Big up to everyone. We are now 15:03.
Way.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much, everyone.
15:04. It's going up.
There you go. There you go. It's taking off now. Big up to everyone. Thank you very much to everyone that has been subscribed for a while and who has just subscribed. We really appreciate all of it.
When I meet any of you in the Coach and Horses when I get to a game, I will reward you with a pint of Amstel. As long as 1,500 of you don't turn up.
That's not cheap. Careful. That's about 10 on its own, isn't it, Mark?
$6,000 later.
As long as all 1,504 of you don't turn up, we'll be all right. About 3 of you.
Did Rain finish his analogy of the game? Because I know he was on Mikey Moore. Or I know people's obviously stepped in. Rain, did you finish your analogy?
Yeah, crack on, Rain.
I had to butt in for a party political broadcast.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks.
No, I was quite happy with the Mikey Moore analogy.
Yeah,
I think he is being. He should not be in the first team, and that's on the club. It's on the club that we are that we're having to. And like I said, we've got Luca Williams-Barnett on the bench. You know, everybody's talking about Mikey Moore, but we've got Luca Williams-Barnett, a 17-year-old kid on the bench, right? You know, and it's just the state. It's the state of our club and our squad at the moment. Everybody's going on about new signings. We desperately need to get Kudus, Maddison, hopefully Kulusevski on the pitch, because it's only with those types of players providing a little bit of a quality uplift into the squad, not just team, but squad, that we're going to climb our way out of the mess that we've been in.
I think it's going to take a bit of time. This ain't going to take 5 minutes to sort out. There's going to be, on average, around about 7 new players on a pitch that haven't even played together. This could land on its feet within the next couple of games. This could be a car crash waiting to happen, but I think it will slowly fall into place. And I think we're just going to have to take our time. I don't think anyone's... there's obviously going to be a couple, but I don't think anyone's literally saying, like, get De Zerbi out, this and that. But he has to take some of the slack for yesterday. And I think it was just how poor we were yesterday. We were terrible.
Yeah.
And again, for me, yesterday showed one thing we are definitely going to need is a solid goalkeeper. I'm not going to judge him until January, but we're not going to be doing anything in particular up front either with new players on there because it's going to take time. This is why I say we need to be more significantly solid at the back. And that is where I'm worried, basically. I'm not saying it was all his fault. I'm not saying he ain't going to do it. I don't think he will. But this is why, again, for me, we need that stability at the back more than anything. And in goal, you need a man, not a boy.
Like as captain, you need a man and not a boy. It was interesting.
Exactly that.
Yeah, exactly.
That.
Interesting. Yesterday, when I was saying this, somebody in Sean's chat said Ray Wilkins was manager of Chelsea was captain of Chelsea at 18. Well, Ray Wilkins was a very, very different character to Archie Gray, right? He was a very, very he was emotionally. He probably wasn't technically, ahead of his age group, but emotionally he was way ahead of his age group. Ray, as a person. And
to be a captain, you've got to have some charisma, ain't you? Surely. Yeah. You've got to have something to your personality.
I was trying to think back, and I reckon, like some of the old greats probably were young captains. I was trying to think of some. Maldini at AC Milan, was he a young captain?
Was Baresi captain at the time, though? He must have been like 22, 23, I suppose, though, wasn't he?
No, I think he was younger than that.
Was he?
Yeah, I think he was younger than that when he played his first captaincy. But again, he was one. He wasn't a loud player on the pitch, but he was quite happy to tell people. And the thing is, he had everything at his feet to why people would
different
actually
levels,
listen to him
ain't
at a younger age. Yeah. Only the best defender ever.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you were De Zerbi after yesterday's game, if you were De Zerbi after yesterday's game, do you go harder on all these players and say that's not good enough, or do you play it down a little bit, or what?
Steve, I'll be surprised if he didn't have to up against the wall in the dressing room, mate. It was that poor.
He did make 2 subs at half time, Mark, and he did make 2 subs at half time, and that is one thing we haven't seen off Frank and Ange. And I know people are going to say, why bring them into it? Well, give me something to compare to. Otherwise, I can't say anything was right or wrong. Past 2 managers haven't really done that. He saw there was a massive problem in the mid, and he put new players on, so credit where it's due for that aspect. I think.
I'm surprised he didn't switch it to a back 3, though, but Danso helping out. I know Gray's not a wing back either, believe me, I know that. But I just thought at the time he could have put Danso there, A, for the heading ability, and B, to help out Gray, because the way it was working, it was just waves and waves of attack. I just thought, change it up, you've got nothing to lose.
It just shows you what having the ball means in a game, because we outpassed Brentford apparently yesterday, nearly doubled what they did yesterday. Half time, it was more basically 50-50 on the possession. Yeah, we didn't create anything. We were playing all shoe football, apart from when Senesi and Van Eck were trying to thread those passes down through the middle. 9 times out of 10, they didn't work. But for me, as bad as they were, at least they were trying to do that. My problem is, again, with movement. We're like statues when we've got the ball at the back.
There's no movement, is there, whatsoever?
And perhaps that will change a little bit if a Savinio and if a Marmoush come in. I
You
mean, I
don't
don't
see
think it
players
would have
moving
made.
about, making space, do you?
Well,
You don't see him making them little
it's
darty
been a
runs.
bugbear of mine with Spurs for a while
Yeah.
now, like statue standing. You know, we do it a lot, but that sort of stuff's really got to improve.
I call it walk and watch football, Cookie.
Yeah,
walk
yeah.
and watch football.
I honestly thought that was the basics of football. You find yourself a bit of space.
Surely.
What did you guys think of the high line yesterday?
Our high line?
Yeah.
I to be honest, tactically yesterday, I had no clue what we were doing. I thought Brentford just completely.
Well, they bossed us.
Yeah, exactly.
It was men against boys from minute one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know I asked the question again. I can ask it in a different way. Look, we are where we are. We've lost the first game. Actually, we've got battered in the first game. We could have got beat 6. I know we could have scored a couple as well. Don't get me wrong. But, mate, they missed a penalty for 4-0. Is it the old barn door with it? Do you know what I mean? And, look, it is what it is.
The crossbar as well.
Now, I want to move on to this because I've seen a few people saying Charlton are going to fancy this at Spurs tomorrow. Now, I don't know what you guys think. I'd like to get your interpretation of what sort of team you think you may put out against Charlton. Will any of the kids remain? Does it depend on if he feels certain players are maybe, I don't know, 70% fit, so he can give them 45 minutes, like a Maddison, like a Fernandez, and so on. Guys, whoever wants to go first, tell me what you think about Charlton on Wednesday. How does he get a bit more out of this squad as far as getting over the line in the Carabao Cup and beating a League One team on Wednesday and then moving on, obviously, to the weekend?
Like I personally, I think there'll be some changes. I don't think Robertson will start. I think Destiny Dogie will start. Probably Fernandez will start with obviously Maddison coming on second half. Maybe Bentancur. Whether they go with Mikey Moore or Lucas Barnett or whatever on the right, I don't know. But there's how many changes can you make? Maybe 3, possibly 4.
Depends who's fit, Mark, doesn't it?
This is it, yeah, absolutely. You would have thought maybe he'll have half an eye on Newcastle more than anything. So there'll probably be 2 changes. I can't see Robertson starting that game. Not for me.
There's 2 questions here, really, isn't there? The one question is, what do we think De Zerbi is going to do?
Yes.
And the other question is, what would we do?
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm very, very clear that there's 2 different answers to those 2 questions for me and probably for most of the people on the panel.
Yeah.
For De Zerbi, from what we've seen, I think he's going to make quite a few changes because I think they're very, very worried about overplaying players. So I think he's going to make quite a few changes. God knows how he's going to make changes up to. Obviously, Solanke will start, but then what other changes can he make? He can't start William Barnett. Can't.
Well, to be honest, the choice of Solanke or Richie is either meh or meh.
I saw a post on X. We've got Schrodinger's striker. You know, we play Richarlison, and everybody thinks maybe we should be playing Solanke. We play Solanke, and everybody thinks maybe we should be playing Richarlison, when actually both of them need to be put in a box.
Ray, who starts on the right
down to the ground. Yeah, that's what
Ray, who starts on the right? Mikey Moore again? Or I don't know. That's what I mean. Or switch systems. I don't know. I don't know.
Is Porro anywhere near ready, by the way?
No.
Or will he be hanging on till Newcastle?
He's not had any pre-season, has he? He had
I don't think they're playing for Charlton.
No.
No, not for the Charlton. I was thinking about the Newcastle game, Dan, but sorry,
yes,
I know we're on the
yes,
Charlton.
he will.
Yeah.
I think he will. I think they've just cut him that extra little bit of time because he's had he hasn't had the time off, and plus he's probably still trying to get the alcohol and whatever else out of his system. So I think they're going to give him a little bit of slack for that one, which you could say a player deserves that. They're not
none
robots.
None of the new players will come in either. Will start at Charlton, will they? Either.
I'd hope not.
Do you think Van der Ben will play?
No.
Wednesday.
Mark, sort that one out, please, in the chat. Thank you. Bottom of the chat. I ain't having none of that
Oh,
shit. You
yeah,
can
yeah,
say
yeah.
it once, mate, but you ain't got to say it fucking 4 times, have you? You know what I mean? It's
Okay,
madness. What are you doing? I know you want to take the piss.
there you go.
You can take the piss, but you ain't got to say it 4 times before anyone else has put a message in, Tangi. Come on, man. Sort it out. You know we're all up for the banter here. We'll take it, but you know that's madness doing that. For me, it is anyway. But it might be all right for other people. I don't know. Yeah, look, let's get back to it. We've got the Charlton game. Important game for me on this game against Charlton. Not simply for the fact of we're basically a 1 game a week, yeah. And I know Dan's going to probably have Dan might have issue with this, but to me, right, we need to get something rolling, right. It might not necessarily be in the Charlton game, right, but it's important to me for the fact of we were so bad, so bad yesterday. Right, again, we won't have the forwards in. Again, who'd you play on the right? Listen, that's up to him at the end of the day. He's the boss. He's the one who gets paid the 60 million for making these decisions. And admittedly, at the moment, he probably don't know if his head's up his arse because he don't know if this one's coming, if they're going to get this one in, if it's going to be Thursday, if it's going to be Saturday, if it's going to be whenever. Right, so he's probably very frustrated as well. But for me, somewhere along the line, even if it's not so much in beating Charlton 5-0, we've got to try and get the ball rolling on the pitch to a certain degree because it can't. Well, it could get worse, I suppose, but surely it can't get no worse than that yesterday.
I know it's not the perfect game to do it in because you can't really judge it on Wednesday, but we just need some positive thing, don't we? Just get a result against Charlton and then see what happens. God, I feel like I was just saying what I said last year. Do you know what I mean? Just give me something. Just give me something positive to hold on to, man. Seriously, but again, it's just an indictment of this club that they've left it so late. Once again, we've gone into another season unprepared. That's where I am with it.
I'm getting ready to get shot down.
Go on then.
Charlton is probably one of the worst games we're going to have on Wednesday. The level of expectation is going to be very, very high that we're just going to roll them over. And actually, if you look at how Charlton has started this season, they beat West Ham 2-1 yesterday.
Yeah.
They are on a roll. They're a tiny little championship machine, and we've seen far lower teams beat teams higher better than us.
Yeah, I think we've got to be careful. I think he's got to be careful with his team selection. He's got a lot of things to juggle, I think, at the moment. Anyone else care to comment on the Charlton game? Do you think it's important? Is it just, minutes in legs again? I don't know. How do you guys, Dan, how would you see it? Joey, how would you see it, mate?
A win would definitely help in that aspect. It's a win to quite easily get behind your back to get the team rolling, so I totally understand that. But everybody knows my opinions on the cup. If we can get them on the side, brilliant. But I think we've got to focus for higher up the league. But then with what we've got, maybe getting in the Europe, it might actually be the FA Cup that might be our best chance of doing it.
Yeah.
We've got to get that win behind us at least. So we've got to go for it on against Charlton. But there's going to be certain players that you still don't necessarily want to take that risk with because the league is that important.
Yeah.
It's where your bread and butter is.
I said yesterday that yesterday's game against Brentford was going to teach us a lot about the current state of Tottenham Hotspur and what it would be like having a few injuries here and there in the squad. I also meant it from a perspective of the damage that not buying in forwards early in the window and prioritising other positions will do to this team, the fan base, and the club. And when I was thinking that as well, I was hearing rain in my ear saying "perfect enemy of the good." right? You've infected my brain with that. I've been saying that all week. But buying poorly, or not even buying poorly, buying well, like we have done with the players that we brought in, but buying them in the wrong order puts different pressures on the team. And I feel the same about the game on Wednesday. I think we're going to learn a lot about us from that game. One, by how De Zerbi reacts to the defeat. Two, whether he still has faith in those young players. The Tells, the Greys, the Moores, the Bergbaus. And whether or not some of those players are actually fit and can play. If Maddison can't play 90 minutes on Wednesday, oh, mate, he's going to be my new public enemy number one. I'm not going to let up on him all season. I promise you. I'm just fed up of him constantly being injured. And it's the same. I give the same type of comparison as what I did with Moore. If you think you're a big shot, mate, and you're this special player, turn up on the pitch, show by example, lead by example. People say, "Oh, injuries aren't their fault." Well, you know what? You're probably right, but I'm of the school of thought thinking you're also got to be responsible for your own fitness. You got to put the effort in. You got to train. You got to lift weights. You got to stretch. You got to do things outside of the club. Look at Porro. You know what? We all dig Porro out for not being a great defender, right? But what you can say about him is that he's professional, right? He keeps himself in impeccable fitness, right? And he turns up every week. Doesn't get injured, the boy, right? One thing, Kane was like that, albeit Kane did have ankle injuries because he used to get tackled by his ankles all the time, right? But he was the same. You could rely on him to turn up every week and play and run around, no matter what. Son, to a certain aspect, was like that. So there's many examples, probably better examples than what I just gave.
Some people are the Weetabix, Maz. Some people are literally
and we need to stop giving sympathy and blaming the club for some of these injuries. I genuinely think it's sometimes it's the players and their attitudes towards things and what they're doing at home and all that sort of stuff, all their other commitments where they're not putting the effort in. Another example, Emerson Royale, one of the worst right backs we've ever seen at Spurs, right? But the boy spent 150 grand, 200 grand on his fitness in his home, to keep him fit, to keep him available, to keep him playing. And I applaud him for that. Took responsibility to make himself better. So if I don't see some of these players that are not fit or coming back, right, injured, playing, I'm going to be furious.
Fair play, mate. Fair play. I mean, listen, I get what everyone's saying about Maddison. I know we've all heard it before. Wayne Holland told everyone he's a third great, a third not available, and a third he disappears. That's the analogy of a Leicester fan back in the day when Maddison was there. And it's turned out that it's been the same for Tottenham, unfortunately. It is what it is. And listen, you look at Maddison, you love him as a player. He's creative. He does bits and pieces with a ball that others can't do. He can see a pass. He can shoot when he's allowed to from outside the box. But the time comes at the end of the day where you have to upgrade on players. And this is where, for me, players that are working with people every day, I'm not saying necessarily just cull him away from it. We're not strong enough as a squad for that. But we've got to be looking for better. So then maybe you think to yourself, do you know what? We will use Maddison as a bit part player because we've got that number 10 in there. And we can say, Zav is here, Kulu's here, Kudos can do it. I get all that. I get it, right? But that's no good to us as a fan waiting for these players to come back when at the start of a season and 7 weeks have gone, nearly 8 weeks now, since Tonali signed, we haven't bought a forward in.
Yeah. It is, To me, matters is on last chance saloon. If he don't do it, if he's going to be constantly injured all the time, he's got to go. I'm fed up. I'm fed up with this club having players that are passengers. The time is done with passengers. If you're not going to play and you're not fit, out you go.
Mark, I agree
Out you go.
totally. And this is why I've been saying we need a number 10 from the start again, as much as
Well,
we
we've
need
got
a
4
striker
apparently, and
and
none
a
of them are
left.
fit.
We've
got
got people
four
we
playing.
can use it. We've got about 4 we can use as a 10. Yeah, Kudus will do a good job there. I think Gallagher proved that yesterday. No,
Xavi.
So and Kulusevski injured, Maddison injured, Simmons
Xavi
injured.
Yeah.
We do need that number 10 desperately there. I agree with that. And if the manager, as a manager, I would not want to rely on Maddison. We all know how technically gifted he is when he wants to be. But it's exactly right what Mark said, exactly right what Wayne said. He shows up for a third, he disappears for a third, and then he's injured for a third. Well, in this one, since he's been at Spurs, he's been injured for 50%.
Yeah,
He's literally
There you
missed
go.
half the games for us. And yes, major injury, but you can see the fella's made a Weetabix. Some people like Porro, like Maz said, he's right, but some people are literally just brittle. I know people twice the size of me, built like a brick shithouse. Kick him in the leg, you'd probably break it. And then you got me, someone like me, half the size of me, touch wood. The closest thing I've ever done to broken a bone is me hand. Fractured it. But some people just are brittle. Some people aren't.
Look at Lo Celso, Dan. Lo Celso. Yeah, it's creative player. Every time someone touched him, he was out for 6 weeks.
That's what I mean. Some people are just brittle, and you can't necessarily blame them for it. Again, Maz was right with Royale training up for it. But again, you can train up all you want. You can get hench all you want. You can be ripped to shit. You can have a 12-pack, let alone a 6-pack, whatever you want to call it. Be built like, I don't know, like the Ultimate Warrior used to be in bloody wrestling, for God's sake, when I was a kid. And someone can still just break your arm or your leg quite simply if you are brittle on the bones.
Yeah. It's true.
I think this comes back to what you were saying as well, Cookie. It's all sort of one big mess.
Yeah.
If we haven't got players available, and yesterday was a perfect example. I hate to start throwing this into the ring, but does De Zerbi adjust? Does he get the team to adjust? So yesterday, we had Bergvall and Tonali in the double pivot. Bergvall just cannot do it. He's not. Whether he will be able to do it in 2 or 3 years' time, I don't know, but he can't do it now. And like Dan says, that's all I really care about, is whether Mikey Moore, Bergvall, Gray, whether they can do it now. That's the important thing. So maybe we should have played 3 in midfield, right? Maybe Gray, maybe Gallagher should have not been playing 10. He should have come all the way back, and then the two
Like
wide,
Finji said.
and then the two, yeah, exactly, and then the 2 wide guys actually play as double 10, right? Actually play as 2 10s, and we become more. It makes those passing lanes a little bit easier because everybody's closer together. But I get the feeling that for De Zerbi, it's what he wants or bust, and unless he gets the players that he wants on the pitch to to play the way that he wants, that's a dicey game to play.
Yeah, it is. But listen, getting back to Charlton, I know we've been talking about that anyway, but getting back to this game, does he go? Does he go almost full strength tomorrow to what he's got?
He's got no choice, I don't think.
Because listen, we were talking earlier about all these names that were on the bench for the game yesterday, right? That are obviously either not fit, haven't had enough pre-season training, are just not ready to play 90 minutes. So I don't know how he gets round it, because all they're going to do is have another half a day's training under their belt, maybe. They might not even train properly before the game on Wednesday. It'll just be light workouts and all that sort of stuff. But we've got players on the bench that we're expecting to see as such, playing 90 minutes there, that really are not ready. And that bothers me a lot, to be fair, in our position, in our current position of where we are with no forwards. We've got players struggling to get through 90 minutes. De Zerbi with Fernandez basically saying, yeah, he's got a bit of a calf strain. He's in the red zone already. Yeah, I mean, fucking hell, we ain't even started the season yet.
Do you remember when we were told Kulusevski had a little knock? And that was like 14 months ago.
There was more. I think there was more than
Kudos
that.
has been out 8 months.
Yeah.
8 months for a knock.
And look at the size of him. He's a bit of a unit. He ain't a small fella. He's quite inch.
No.
Again, some people are more brittle. The problem is you're better off breaking both legs at the same time, as long as it's a clean break, than you are having an ACL injury, because it's easier to fix. And when your bones fix, 9 times out of 10, they'll fix up stronger than they actually were. Because if people know, your bones grow together and then they also grow over the top. You do your ACL, you're never going to fix that 100%. It's like your back, like I've said before. You'll fix it 95% maybe, but you'll never be 100% to what it was. An ACL is a life changer. Yes, it's a lot more experience. What's the word for it? We're a lot more progressed basically on the medical that people can do and everything else. But ACL is a game changer, a life changer, whether it's football or not. And how many players have we seen get an ACL tear and it's changed their game, let alone completely snap it? We've seen players totally change over that. It might not even be the physicality. That can also change a player on the mental side, where he's that much more scared to do something on the back of his mind because of what he has already done to his body.
Yeah.
You've got to get a player through that side of it as well. And yeah, it's going to be tricky to get a few of them back in there, for sure. And what are we going to do up until then? But like I said, it sounds terrible, but you're better off breaking both your legs at the same time than snapping your ACL.
I think we should do an insurance claim on Kulusevski.
Yeah. Does just one more question before we go, because we're going to round off. Just one more question. Does yesterday's defeat put any more pressure on De Zerbi, on ENIC to produce, not so much De Zerbi in the next 10 days, but on ENIC more to pull their finger out and get these players in the next 10 days?
It better do. It better do. Someone ought to be going. Yeah, someone ought to be going up to Lily White House and banging on the door. Where's our fucking forwards?
I think the next 10 days, what ENIC do will define what happens the first 6 months of this season.
Yeah,
I think that's where I am with it.
You know what I would do if I was Spurs? I'd go and obviously steal the deal on Savinho and Mamouche. Right, I would steal the deal on Gakpo, and I would go and get that Crystal Palace Mateta, isn't it?
Mateta.
Yeah. Right, bring him in as well. He's decent. He's not my preferred, but I think he can do a job for us. Right, and the players that are humming and ahhing, like Richie, Bergvall, I wouldn't even register them in the squad or remove them from the squad or whatever. However they do it, right, and be brutal and say, right, you ain't got a future here. Do a Chelsea. In the reserves you go or whatever, right, until you guys leave. That's what I would do, because we need. There's a reason why these big clubs do it that way, and we've sort of lost the mindset that no player is bigger than the club, and I do wish that would come back a little bit,
Yeah, it's like you can't necessarily force a player out. Even when it comes to writing off their contract, there's something dodgy about it that I remember. If I remember right, you've got to get some agreement with them to do it or whatever, but would cost you money. Now, with someone like Bergvall, he wants football. You don't even have to sign him. You don't even have to sign him in the squad because he's under 21. But tell him he's not going to play. I mean, he's already said he wants to go. Now, Richie's more of a problem getting rid of him because he don't want to go. But the thing is with Richie, like I've said, he's actually got the right mentality, I think, for a football player. He's just crap. I think he's one of those ones that if you told him, right, you ain't getting no game time, I ain't even putting you in the squad, I ain't even writing you down, mate, go train with the kids, he'd be gutted, argue about it, but I think he's one that would go and get a loan because he wants to play football. He would not be happy sitting on that bench, just sitting out there with the kids being an earner. He's got that mentality, which is a good mentality to have. Whereas we do know there's other players out there that just turn around and say, well, bollocks to you, then you can pay me for training with the kids and be quite happy with it. We've seen that as well.
Yeah.
But
that's fine if they want to throw their career down the Swanee. I mean, that's why you do it. I mean, look what happened to Rose.
No, I agree.
I bet you he rues the day that he ever fell out with the club in the way that he did, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Fabio Capello, do you remember in when he was at AC Milan, what he did to Lentini, right? That destroyed his career by what Fabio Capello did to him. Was never the same after that. I just think it's a necessary evil, and some of those players deserve it, and some don't. But we should, if we're gonna, we skirt around this issue all the time, don't we? In the various different topics that we discuss, Rain will give his analogy, I'll give my analogy, Dan and the 2 marks and Steve and Joe and all that sort of stuff will give their different takes on it. But it all comes down to the same thing. If we're going to regain some of our lost history, right, our credibility, our stature, then we need to start behaving, not just in the transfer market, but how we deal with certain players and how we manage our squad in the same way that those other big clubs do. Because
100%.
Spending money on players and just bringing them in isn't the answer if you don't get the operations of the club and how you manage players from the youth level all the way up to the first team correct. And that's what we're in danger of doing, right? We're spending the money, but are we now creating another £400 million problem 2-3 years down the road?
I agree, Maz. The thing is, we are at Spurs, and it's the phrases I use. We are too sentimental as a fan base, too sentimental as a club, too soft as a club. You might as well give the players a bloody blue badge on their bloody shirts, let alone for parking. And Harry Kane did it perfect. When he went to Bayern Munich, he said he had the shock of his life when they lost a game. He did not know what hit him. He said it was worse than anything he had ever seen at Spurs. He said, when you used to lose at Spurs and when you used to get a draw or something to go wrong, you get a now that's okay, boys. We'll play the next game and everything and that. And you can put that on Levy. You can put that on Levy as much as you want, but we'll see if that changes now. Now has got to change it. Levy ain't here no more. You can't blame Levy for anything anymore. You can talk about 25 years, but that's done and dusted. It's over. It's finished. Yeah. It's the people there now. And the fan base is too sentimental in the aspect of, look how long we did it with Lo Celso. Ndombele, other player, but the next manager get it right. You got to give him a chance. The next manager get it right. You got to give him a chance, and again and again and again. Oh, look, Richie's bang on form. Yeah, 2 games later, 5 games later, 10 games later, he ain't scored a bloody goal. We are too sentimental here, too forgiving at Spurs, and Kane said it is just too different. At Chelsea, when that helicopter used to come down, and Abramovich used to be on it. They used to shit bricks. They were scared because even the owner would come out and switch on the players because he's the one paying them the bloody money. And he's got every right to do it. Other clubs do that. Other example I'll give as well. Last example I'll give on it. Even in a game, people say, even if you win a game 5-1, how can you look on it negative in any other way? I still want to look at the good side, but I still also want to see the side that we messed up on. Man U won 5-1, 6-1, 4-1 countless times. And I've read it in both his autobiographies along with Roy Keane's one. The first thing Ferguson used to actually do was literally drag them in by their hair and switch on them for conceding a goal, even though they'd won the game 5-1, because he expected better. It was a stupid, lazy goal they'd let in, even though they were 5-0 up. We are not ruthless at this club. We are too sentimental. It's too much of a nice club. And that needs to change. Otherwise, all the players we're getting in, it's a waste of time, like Maz said, because people will when you've got someone putting pressure on your back, not everyone likes pressure, but it means you've got to do something. When you've got no pressure on your back whatsoever, you get complacent, really, don't you? A lot of people do. I prefer to do things my way in my time, but I get complacent. I don't like pressure on me, someone nagging at me, but I work a lot better doing anything and anything under pressure because I know I've got that pressure on me and I've got to get that job done. When you got no pressure, like I said, you almost get complacent. And Kane was the one who said it perfect. We need to fix up and be ruthless as a club. If we are this big club that people keep telling me, okay, we're spending like a big club, but it's not just about spending. It's acting like a big club overall. Other clubs would not put up with some of the shit that we have, and nor would other fans, but we do. That's my last call on it.
If I don't hit my contractual milestones, then my company doesn't get paid. That's
exactly.
That's the pressure and stress, of the situation. That's the way of the world, right? And you have to deal with stress. Learning how to deal with stress is part of what becoming a grown up is all about, right? And I don't think this is even new. I think Bill Nick used to be 100%. But yes, he was. He built a squad and a good atmosphere. But that doesn't mean that we didn't get rid of players when we needed to get rid of them. And players weren't told that they weren't performing when they needed to be told they weren't performing. Absolutely not. It wasn't all nicely back then either. It was, this is the way that it is. Another phrase that gets thrown out that does my nutting is when a new coach comes in and we get told he needs to look at X, Y, and Z player in the pre-season to see if he can get something out of him. Like, I know Richarlison's rubbish. I don't need, and if he doesn't know Richarlison's rubbish before he gets into pre-season, then you know what? He needs to go and do some work outside.
That's being pre-prepared.
Exactly.
That's being pre-prepared. I mean, it don't take a manager to be bloody Einstein to work out that Richarlison ain't good enough. Some players, I can understand that with Rain. You want to give him a little go because you think, do you know what? I reckon if I play him that way, I can get something. But being a Premier League manager like he already has and everything, that you would expect a manager to already come in pre-prepared to have watched games from last season, done this, done that, done his homework, which he didn't get much chance, I admit that, but he's had plenty of time now. And he's already said there's only about 11 or 12 players that he wants to keep. So surely he's already done his homework. It's just at the moment, the strikers, what option do you have? Solanke and fucking Richarlison. Pardon the phrase at 12 o'clock.
I genuinely believe that he's basically, he's come out and said, oh, Richarlison, I want to keep him, and Solanke. I think he's only done that, like you say, because that's all he's got to work with at the minute. And he was hoping that he'd have other better forwards in by now. But obviously, at the moment, he's got to go into the first game of the season and through pre-season with Solanke and Richarlison. So I think that's basically him just saying, oh, crap, this is what I've got to deal with. Better big them up for a few games until I get my players in.
Yeah, we're going to wrap up now. Joey, Maz, anything else that you want to say on the Charlton game during the week? I know Dan's and Rain, and even you, Steve. Anything else you want to say? Because we're going to wrap up the show now.
Well, hopefully we win it. That's all that I can say. I mean, after yesterday, I have serious doubts. I echo what everyone else has said. I mean, I have an issue if a revamped Newcastle beat a revamped Tottenham next week, because everyone's going, oh, it's all new players and they haven't played together. Well, let's see what Newcastle do to us. Yeah.
Interesting. Maz?
Yeah, I think that's a point well made. Look, as negative as we all have been, it is one game. Mm-hmm. I do believe in Roberto De Zerbi. This is the one manager we've had in the last several that I can actually really get behind and trust in him, because he's done it at his previous clubs, and you can just tell that he's much more tactically astute. Rain is right, and everyone else is right. I don't think anyone said anything wrong for a long time on Tottenham Hotspur, but there is going to need to be an element of patience. but only for the right things. We need to be patient for the right things and and more honest and brutal on the things that we can easily rectify now. Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah, big up, Maz. Thanks very much. Dan, did you want to say one more thing before I go to Steve?
No, mate. Cheers for having us on as always. Appreciated, mate.
Mate, always welcome.
Always welcome.
Steve, just before we go, anything else you want to say, mate?
No, I think I've said everything I want. But yeah, thanks for having me on with you guys again, and a great panel this morning as well. So big up to all of you.
We're trying, mate. We're trying. Ray, anything else that you'd like to say?
I hope it happens because we need players. I'm still not sold on Savio and Marmoush. I'm more excited about Marmoush than I am Savio. But I am. These are players that are a stepping stone for me. Anyone who's thinking these are the players who are going to elevate us into the Champions League spots, again, I think expectations need to be tempered. I think these are the players who are going to drag us up the league, but they're not our next Harry Kane and Sonny. I hope they are, but I don't think they are.
Fair play, Ray. Fair play, mate.
Yeah.
Stevie, anything else you want to say?
Yeah, I just want to echo what Ray said. I said it at the start of the show. I think we just need to temper our expectations because this is another competition season. So, look, hopefully we get the players in we need, but if we don't, it's going to be a long road.
Yeah. Sheriff?
Right. First of all, thank you to everyone that's been watching. There's been constantly over 200 of you watching us. Thank you for getting us to the 1,500.
Yeah, thank you.
Big up to all of you. We really do appreciate it. Without you in the comments, this channel don't exist. I could be on the phone to Mark for 3 hours, and we do the show like that. So without all of you in the comments, we love and appreciate all of you.
Well played, everyone. That's all I can say. Well played, everyone. Echoing what Mark said. Thanks to everyone that subscribed. Big up to everyone who's been on the show today. Anyone with a channel, your links have been in the chat. Supplied by Drewler. Big up to Drewler for doing that earlier on.
Yeah, big up.
Listen, you can get over to Dan at the Hotspur Hood. Get over to him over there. Get over to Maz at Spurs Corner and Tottenham away. Get over to wherever, because Rain will be on there more than likely.
Yeah.
Because
any Tottenham show, Rain will be on there.
There you go. Big up to you, Rain. Everyone else that's been on this morning, appreciate you. Let me just say quickly before we go, big up to Logan for the super sticker as always. Futures bright for the jewels. Danalist for the jewels as well. Rich, Tony, and Rich again for the jewels. Big up to all of you. Like and subscribe to the Two Mark shows. Like and subscribe to anyone with a channel that's on the panel. We'll be back tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. for the breakfast brunch again. Like and subscribe, people. And as always, come on, you Spurs.
Oh!